Welcome to Chinese Novel Audiobook. My superpower is perfect copy. Chapter 1. Ferocious Beasts Raging, Age of Supernatural Powers. Lanshan Base City. Central Hospital, Ward 302. Am I crossing? Ling Ju's expression is a bit wonderful. He was originally an ordinary office worker on the earth, working diligently every day, running around for 3 meals, but when he woke up, he crossed the world and was reborn as a boy of the same name. Just put it on. Anyway, he has nothing to do with the earth, and he just started a new life. The problem is, this world is dangerous. The memory of S predecessor tells him that this is a parallel world also named Earth, and even the history before 2020 is exactly the same as the previous life. Until the second half of 2020, a disaster known as the ferocious beast invasion swept the world, and this Earth embarked on a path of no return. In September 2020, many space cracks suddenly appeared on the Earth. A kind of magical energy later called Gene supernatural power gushed out of the cracks and spread to the world, eventually leading to the evolution of animals and plants on the Earth. The docile cat has become a beast with teeth and claws, the loyal Wang Xingren has become a bloodthirsty and brutal monster, even the potted plants in the family have evolved into a ferocious cannibal tree. As for living in the wild, wolves, tigers, leopards, birds and beasts that strictly follow the strong food of the weak have evolved into terrifying beasts that destroy the world. The disaster inevitably broke out, and countless beasts began to attack the human settlements. Mankind rose up to resist, and found out that proud thermal weapons can only kill some low-level beasts, and even nuclear weapons as a strategic deterrent can't exert their expected effects. Such consequences are catastrophic. Human beings suddenly fell from the top of the food chain to the bottom. Countless people died tragically. Countless cities have been destroyed. Countless families are torn apart. In just a few years, the world's total population plummeted from 6 billion to 3 billion, and half of the world's people died tragically under the claws of beasts. How did I cross into such a dangerous world? Ling Ju felt suffocated. This is an absolutely dangerous world. Even if you live in the base city, it is still dangerous. You must know that the Lanshan base city where he is located is only a medium-sized base city with a population of less than 5 million. If you encounter a slightly stronger beast, the defense is at risk of being breached. The boy Ling Ju he possessed was seriously injured by a beast that broke into the base city and was hospitalized. Furthermore, Ling Ju, a teenager with the same name as me, seems to be a negative second generation. The cheap old man just declared bankruptcy last month and has several hundred million in debt. Ling Ju was very broken, and finally caught up with the wave of crossing, and finally passed through such a dangerous place, and also crossed to the second generation of the body. Ling Ju had a sentence in his heart that MMP did not know how to talk about it. Forget it, if you come, you will be safe. Ling Ju's attention quickly shifted to another thing, that is the supernatural person. Animals and plants have evolved under the stimulation of genetic supernatural powers. As a part of the earth, human beings are also without exception. A very small number of lucky ones have evolved under the nourishment of genetic abilities, possessing all kinds of incredible abilities. Control the flames, control the metal, control the gravity, move instantaneously, the ultimate speed. People call these abilities, and people with abilities are, abilities. The emergence of supernatural beings gave mankind the capital to contend against the beasts. With the help of supernatural beings, mankind quickly established survival bases one after another, and thus survived. It can be said that in this world where fierce beasts are raging and perilous, supernatural beings defend mankind, and while fighting beasts, they also hold various privileges. Every supernatural being is a human master. Ability person, let alone the identity and status of the ability person, it is too tempting to have the ability alone. Ling Ju's eyes flashed green. In previous lives, supernatural beings only exist in novels, comics, movies and TV series, etc., but in this world, supernatural beings really exist. Some people can control the lightning flames, some people can incarnate giants, some people can move instantaneously, some people have the speed of light. It's so tempting. If I also have abilities, it's not too cool. Ling Ju is more excited as he thinks about it. To become an ability person, there are generally 2 ways. First, ability talent. Most people with powers have power talents. As long as they reach the right age and participate in power tests, they can awaken powers. The problem is that there are very few people with supernatural talents. There may not be one person with supernatural talents in 10,000 people. Therefore, supernaturalists are very rare. The entire Lanshan base city has a population of 5 million. www.mtlnovel.com. There are no more than 1,000 people. Second, power potion. Genetic powers appeared 30 years ago. After so long research on the soul, scientists have successfully developed a power potion. I heard that only a bottle of power potion can enable ordinary people without power talents to successfully awaken powers. Unfortunately, this thing is too expensive. Ling Ju sighed. A bottle of power potion is worth hundreds of millions of power coins, and even as soon as it appears, it will be robbed by all parties. Not to mention that the cheap father is bankrupt. Even if he is not bankrupt, he cannot afford it. From now on, I can only hope for the ability test in half a month. It is worth mentioning that although there are supernatural beings in this world, 99.999% of the people are still ordinary people. Therefore, Washa still retains the college entrance examination system, and the first month of the college entrance examination is the ability test. As long as the ability and talent can be tested during the ability test, the trajectory of life will change drastically. You don't need to take the college entrance examination, you don't need to go to university hard, you are directly recruited by the super company, and you start a completely different and wonderful life. Brother, how are you doing? Just when Ling Ju was in deep thought, the door of the ward was suddenly pushed open, and a beautiful girl in school uniform and unconcealable beauty came in with a bag of fruit. Good kawaii girl. A good goddess. Ling Ju's eyes are straight. Brother, what's wrong with you, is it uncomfortable? The pretty girl looked confused. No. Nothing. Ling Ju shook his head quickly. His mood is a bit complicated. This beautiful girl is no one else but his cheap sister. Ling Xiaotong. Chapter 2. Diving into the Dragon Gate, Ability Test. A week later, his body recovered, Ling Ju was discharged from the hospital, and then began to go to school hard. His grades in his previous life were pretty good, and he was admitted to a book, but it was useless. The courses in this world are very different from those in the previous life. Even if you are an English professor, you may still get 0 in the college entrance examination in this world, because English language. During the boring study, in a blink of an eye, it was May 5th. When the next evening was about to study, the class teacher came. Say one thing. The head teacher is a middle-aged man with glasses and a face with Chinese characters. His name is Yin Guoping. Everyone knows that tomorrow is the day of the ability test. I believe everyone is looking forward to it, but I want to remind everyone not to hold too much great expectations. The probability of the ability to appear is very low, and there may not be one ability in 10,000 people. So, for 99.9999% of us, the ability test is just a cutscene. What should I do after the test? Our goal is only one, and that is the college entrance examination 1 month later. Do you understand? Yin Guoping scanned the whole class. Listen clearly. The class should be loudly, but the fire of hope in their eyes is still hot. The supernatural being is a master. As long as the supernatural talent is tested, he can transform into a dragon and completely change his own destiny and the destiny of his family. Who can easily give up? Everything depends on tomorrow. Looking at the eyes of the classmates, the head teacher sighed and said every year for nothing. Early the next morning, the school playground was overcrowded, and all the senior high school students from Lanshan No. 1 middle school arrived. Lao Ling, I'm so nervous. Bad friend Li Kai is extremely nervous. His family conditions are average, but he is honest and honest. He can play well with Ling Ju, and the two have a good relationship. Calm down on Lao Li, sometimes you must end up in your fate, but you can never force your fate. Ling Ju smiled and comforted. Although he said that, he was actually nervous. This is the time when fate is truly determined. Who can calm down? Lao Ling, you are too stable. Time came to 8 o'clock amidst everyone's uneasiness. The principal and other school leaders surrounded a group of people on the rostrum of the school playground. There are some people carrying some instruments and putting them on the table prepared in advance. When everyone stood still, the principal looked at the underwhelming students and said loudly, "Today is the day of power test. First of all, let us welcome Changfeng Power Company manager Dai Changsheng of Lanshan Base City branch with warm applause. One line. Papa Papa. There was thunderous applause from the audience, and all the students stared eagerly at Dai Changsheng and the employees of the Changfeng Ability Company he brought. In this world, people with supernatural powers generally choose to join a certain power. This power can be an army, a certain power company, a certain consortium, a family, or other big powers and organizations. And these organizations that have gathered a lot of supernatural powers are the greatest force of mankind, and they hold resources that ordinary humans cannot reach. Changfeng Ability Company is one of the top 500 ability companies of China, with branches almost all over China's base cities, and its strength is very strong. Being able to become the general manager of the Lanshan Base City branch of Changfeng Ability Company, Dai Changsheng is definitely an ability person. Who can not be excited to see the supernatural person? Hello students. Dai Changsheng simply greeted the students, and the power test officially started. The test tool is the combination of the computer plus mental helmet they just brought. A total of 10 instruments, 10 people each time. After a class teacher called out according to the list, 10 students stepped onto the podium. Then, under the guidance of the staff of Changfeng Company, put on the mental helmet and start the test. This is the tester for testing ability talents. I heard it is expensive. It's not expensive in general. To put it bluntly, it's that we didn't make enough money for this instrument if we sold it. Real or fake? Do you think? This tester is composed of two main components, a smart computer and a mental helmet. After we wear the mental helmet, the spirit will be drawn into the virtual world set in advance by the smart computer, and experience some extreme conditions. At the same time, the special silver needle mounted on the mental helmet stimulates the pineal gland at the front of our brain, and inputs genetic powers into it. Under the double stimulation, people with supernatural talents will generally successfully awaken. Whispering under the stage, I saw the staff of Changfeng Company operating on the computer. The next moment, 10 students screamed as if they had encountered something unusual, either angry, desperate, fearful, or excited. Had different expressions, but they were all extreme. Ling Ju secretly wondered, while experiencing extreme conditions, he input genetic powers into the pineal gland, double stimulation, and thus awakened the powers. This is the power test. Of course, you reading www.yuakanshu.com will successfully awaken only if you have the ability talent. If you don't have the ability talent, it can only be tossing, and it will not help at all. I wonder if these 10 students have supernatural talents. Ling Ju stared at the 10 students closely, and all the students in the venue were also watching them nervously. This is the first time most people have watched the power test in their lives, and it may be the only time in their lives. Unknowingly, a minute passed. Apart from yelling, 10 students showed no abnormal behavior. They have no talent for supernatural powers. Dai Changsheng shook his head and signaled the staff to stop the test. Next batch. The school leaders on the side have long been accustomed to it. There are too few students with supernatural talents. It is good to have one in the past years, and even in many years there is not even a student with supernatural talents. This year's test has just begun. It is impossible to win the bid so quickly, so be patient. Next batch. Next batch. Next batch. In May, the north began to get hot. As time went by, the sun rose higher and higher, and the students waited nervously under the scorching sun. As it approached noon, all the tests from Class 1 to Class 10 were completed. What made people sad is that there are more than 500 students in the 10 classes, and there is no one with a talent for supernatural powers. Seeing this situation, many students are gradually desperate. In the first 10 classes, none of them have supernatural talents, we guess it's awful. Damn. This ratio is too low. Ling Ju is secretly anxious. He is not a person without confidence, but the situation before him makes him completely self-confident. There is no one in 10 classes, which makes it impossible to see hope. Lao Ling, it's our class. Chapter 3. Power Awakening, but not me. Ling Ju looked up, and their class teacher Yin Guoping took the list and walked onto the rostrum. Is it a young model in the club or going to work in the sea? It depends on this. Ling Ju said silently. His student number 36 is the fourth batch of their class. After only a few minutes, it was his turn. Zhang Wei. Ma Tianyu. Wang Feng. Luo Da Cho. Li Xiaoqiang. Ling Ju. Li Kai. Quote, quote. Lao Ling, I'm so nervous. Li Kai's nervous palms were sweaty. Lao Li, look at the opening point, just a power test. Isn't it a blind date with a gold worshipper, afraid of an egg? Ling Ju smiled faintly and took the lead on the podium. However, because of being too nervous, he stepped on the empty foot and fell a dog to eat shit. Old Li, are you all right? Li Kai asked concerned. It's okay. Damn, it's a bad job. Ling Ju quickly got up and went to the rostrum anxiously. The staff of Changfeng Company put a mental helmet on his head. Boom. Ling Ju felt a trance, and came to a completely strange environment. The wind was whistling, the cold wind was biting, and at a glance, the earth was covered with thick snow, and this place was actually a world covered by ice and snow. This is the virtual world set up by the smart computer. Ling Juda was shocked. Is it too real? Real. Absolutely true. The white snow, the howling wind, the capped icebergs, the creaking sound of footsteps on the snow. Even Ling Ju felt the utter coldness. Is this really a virtual world? Roar. Just as Ling Ju was uncertain, there was a thunderous roar in the distance, and the rolling sound wave spread. Ling Ju felt that his eardrum was about to shatter. Turned his head and saw a polar bear 100 meters tall leaping towards him. Boom. Boom. The polar bear stepped on the ground and made a rumbling roar. The ground was trembling, and the terrifying threat made Ling Ju tremble all over. Fake. This is a fake. It's just a virtual environment, nothing to be afraid of. Ling Ju tried his best to tell herself, but her body was shaking uncontrollably, especially when she looked at the polar bears approaching. The fear in her heart became stronger and stronger. Finally, the polar bear rushed to Ling Ju and burst his head. Wow. In a trance, Ling Ju felt that his thinking had withdrawn from the virtual world. At this time, he was already wet with cold sweat, his legs were shaking uncontrollably, and his face was extremely pale. It was terrible. Recalling the picture just now, Ling Ju still felt lingering in his heart, but before he calmed down completely, an excited voice suddenly sounded in his ear. Awake. Someone has awakened. Awakened. Wouldn't it be me? Ling Ju was shocked, and even looked at the owner of the voice. It was Dai Chengsheng's voice. I saw Dai Chengsheng looking at him with a gratified expression. Classmates, congratulations on being the lucky one in all, and awakening the earth element power. Awakened the earth power. Is it me? Ling Ju was so excited that he couldn't help himself, and then saw the principal, the head teacher, and the leaders of a school cadre all walking towards him. The principal even stretched out his hands enthusiastically to shake hands with himself. Ling Ju was so excited that he was about to reach out and shake hands with the principal. Unexpectedly, the principal passed by him, the head teacher and a leader of the school also passed him, walked up to a person next to him, and surrounded the group. This classmate, what is your name? Li Kai. My name is Li Kai. Li Kai, congratulations. Li Kai, you are the pride of our No. 1 high school. Ling Ju turned around with difficulty and looked at Li Kai, who was surrounded by the principal, the head teacher, and the leaders of a cadre school. He was struck by lightning. I saw Li Kai surrounded by countless yellow sands, dancing around Li Kai like an elf, seemingly not bound by the earth's gravity, but controlled by Li Kai. Looking at myself again, there is no vision. Li Kai is the one who awakens the earth element's ability. It's not me. Ling Juru fell into the ice cave. If he uses a song to describe his current mood, there is nothing more than snow fluttering. North wind xiao xiao. The world is vast. God, what are you playing with me? Ling Ju didn't know how he left the rostrum. The greatest pain in life is to give you hope, and then extinguish this hope again. Oh, God. The next power test Ling Ju was not in the mood to watch it, he was going to find a place to vent. As for the rest, go to hell. Old Ling. Li Kai's cry came from behind. Ling Ju turned his head to look at Li Kai who was coming, and barely smiled. Old Li, congratulations. Old Ling. Li Kai still didn't recover from his excitement. www.mtlnovel.com. Hugged Ling Ju and yelled. Lao Ling, I have awakened power, I have awakened power. Congratulations. Ling Ju smiled bitterly and said hi, and then he was stunned, because at the moment when Li Kai was caught, a few lines of weird golden characters suddenly appeared in front of him. Name. Li Kai. Race. Human race. Ability. Control soil, awakened, can be copied. Damn it. Ling Ju thought that he had hallucinations, and shook his head vigorously, but the few lines of small characters were always entrenched in front of him, and his shadow persisted. What the hell? Ling Ju and Li Kai drew a distance, those lines of fine prints disappeared, but when he met Li Kai again, the fine prints appeared again. Name: Li Kai. Race: human race. Ability: control soil, awakened, can be copied. After several consecutive times, Ling Ju finally discovered a weird fact, that is, whenever he comes into contact with Li Kai, the word will appear. Could it be, this is my ability? What does it mean to be copyable? Can I copy Li Kai's ability? Ling Ju's breathing suddenly became hurried, and then tried to replicate it. Shua. The small characters spread out in an instant, and then converged into a golden streamer that enveloped Li Kai. At this moment, Li Kai seemed to be covered with a thin golden shield, completely wrapping him from head to toe. About 10 seconds later, the golden streamer broke away from Li Kai's body again and returned to Ling Ju. This time, it was a few other small characters. The replication is successful. Is it integrated? Fusion. Chapter 4. Mystery of Abilities, Start to Win. Shua. The small golden characters turned into a golden stream of light and poured into Ling Ju's brain. Immediately afterwards, an extremely heavy energy exploded in the brain, and instantly swept across the brain. What? Ling Ju was struck by lightning, only to feel a heart-piercing pain invading his nerves. Ling Ju let out a scream, and rolled his head. Lao Ling, what's wrong with you? This sudden scene frightened Li Kai, and other classmates also surrounded him. It hurts, a headache. Ling Ju had a splitting headache, big beads of sweat rolled down from his forehead, and his head was about to explode. Lao Ling, I'll take you to the hospital right away. Li Kai took out his cell phone and was about to dial 120. At this time, the school leaders and Dai Changsheng who noticed the movement here also ran over. What happened to this classmate? Asked the principal nervously. Principal, Ling Ju said he has a headache. Li Kai anxiously replied. Ling Ju must be sent to the hospital quickly. Hit 120. Hurry up and hit 120. No accident at school. The principal waved his hand, and immediately the school leader was ready to make a call, but Dai Changsheng looked happy. Congratulations, Principal Wang. Mr. Dai, what do you mean? The principal was stunned. If I guess right, this classmate is awakening the supernatural power. Dai Chong said with a smile. Awakening ability. The principal and the leaders of a cadre school were taken aback, and the head teacher was even more puzzled. Ling Ju had done a power test just now. He didn't awaken at that time, but now he awakens. This is normal. Dai Changsheng smiled faintly. Under normal circumstances, many people with abilities will awaken abilities during the power test, but there are also a few people who can successfully awaken their talents after completing the power test. There is a buffer in between. Period. It turned out to be like this. Everyone suddenly realized. The principal was surprised. So, 2 people in this senior year of high school have successfully awakened their talents. 1 shot, 2 sounds, principal. Unexpectedly, our school actually awakened 2 supernaturalists at once. This is a great achievement, and the reward will never be less. Principal, congratulations. Haha, the same joy, the same joy. Listening to everyone's Dao Shi, the principal was so happy that all his nasal blisters came out. It would be nice to be able to awaken one in previous years. This year, 2 of them popped out. Good things have become a double. You know, the value of an ability person is higher than a champion in the college entrance examination. The students' onlookers also whispered, their eyes full of envy and hatred. What kind of asterisk is this guy? So many students don't have the awakening ability, but they awakened. Why? Jealousy makes people distorted, but other people are nothing else. What are Ling Ju and Li Kai? The results are average. Family. The guy who has nothing but good looks actually awakened his abilities. God doesn't have eyesight. Lao Ling, how do you feel? Seeing Ling Ju gradually stabilized, Li Kai asked concerned. Also, okay. Ling Ju wiped the cold sweat from his forehead, barely smiled, his face was still pale, and the headache just tortured him not lightly. Lao Ling, you have also awakened the power. Li Kai helped Ling Ju up. You know what? You have also awakened the supernatural power. I also awakened the power. Ling Ju pretended to have a bewildered look, and listened to the principal and others surrounding him. Student Ling Ju, congratulations for awakening the earth element power. Ling Ju, congratulations. Listening to the congratulations from school leaders and the head teacher, Ling Ju felt excited. The awakening ability is exciting, but what makes him even more exciting is that his awakening looks like an incredible ability. Copy ability. Abilities that specifically copy other abilities. Ling Ju knows that there are many abilities in this world, but it seems that such abilities that can copy other people's abilities have not appeared. Even other people's abilities can be copied. My abilities are too abnormal. It must be kept secret. I must not let others know. Ling Ju is not a fool, he knows the truth of concealment, and terrible abilities like copying abilities must not be revealed. Afterwards, the school leaders and Dai Changsheng and others returned to the podium to perform power tests. Ling Ju and Li Kai were invited to the podium by Dai Changsheng. Li Kai, Ling Ju, first of all, congratulations to you for successfully awakening the power and becoming a glorious power user. Dai Changsheng smiled. Thank you. Secondly, talk about your abilities. Dai Changsheng smiled and said, you two are very lucky, and the awakened are all earth-type abilities. You should know that abilities are mainly divided into 4 types: element control type, body alienation type, spirit type, and special type of fragmentation. Your awakened earth-based ability belongs to the element control type. This is a very powerful combat type ability, quite rare. Ling Ju and Li Kai nodded again and again. Different abilities have different effects. There are combat abilities, such as earth abilities, fire abilities, and huge transformation abilities. There are auxiliary abilities, such as clairvoyance, wind ears, perspective, and wall penetration. Some abilities are more special, such as mind reading, invisibility, predicting the future, telepathy. Different abilities have different effects, but in this world where fierce beasts are raging, combat abilities are undoubtedly more popular. Dai Changsheng smiled and said, so, I hope you can join our Changfeng Ability Company. In the name of the General Manager of the branch, I assure you that as long as you join us, you will enjoy the following benefits. First, get a low-level genetic power secret technique. Presumably you should have heard of genetic power secret technique, right? Dai Changsheng smiled and said, it is equivalent to the inner strength of martial arts masters. With it, we can absorb the genetic powers that are free from the world and make us stronger. Genetic power secret technique. Ling Ju's heart shocked. Since a space crack appeared 30 years ago, there have been genetic abilities on the Earth, but ordinary people cannot sense genetic abilities. Only those with awakened abilities can clearly sense and absorb them. Theoretically, genetic powers can still be absorbed without the occult of genetic powers, but the absorption efficiency is far less than the occult of genetic powers. Therefore, the secret technique of genetic power is of the utmost importance to the ability person, just like the inner power mental method is to the martial arts master. This is why many ability persons will join the ability organization, because only the ability organization has the secret technique of genetic power. Secondly, we will arrange 2 single-family villas for you. Of course, single-family villas are company items, and you only have the right to reside, not the right to buy and sell. Dai Changsheng continued. If the secret technique of genetic power is a bit strange to Ling Ju and Li Kai, and the two don't know the value of the secret technique of genetic power, the 2 single-family villas have moved them greatly. Why? Because this thing is too extravagant. Most areas of this world are occupied by beasts. The oceans, forests, lakes, rivers, mountains, towns, counties, and county-level cities are almost all reduced to habitats for beasts. Humans can only hide in the base city. How big is the base city? Have to feed so many people. Therefore, the land in the base city can be described as an inch of gold, and ordinary people can only spend their days in low-rent housing built by the government. Single-family villa. Don't even think about it. If you want to live in a single-family villa, you must not only have money, but also have the right to have status. The entire Lanshan base city has a population of 5 million and no more than 5,000 people are eligible to live in a single-family villa. But now, as long as they agree to join the Changfeng Ability Company, they can become one of the few 5,000 people living in a single-family villa. Why are they not excited? How not to be excited? Dai Changsheng was very satisfied with the expressions of the two of them, www.mtlnovel.com, and continued, third, the employees of Changfeng Power Company are naturally paid. I will offer you a basic salary of 30,000 per month, a commission. Another count. 30,000 per month. Li Kai shook his whole body, his breathing became rapid, and Ling Ju was also a little confused. Lanshan Base City is located in the north, prices are relatively low, and wages are naturally not high. The average wage is about 3,000. Like their class teacher, they have a dead salary of 4,000 to 5,000 yuan per month, and they are just two senior high school students, and they can get a basic salary of 30,000. Who can make sense? Fourth, after joining our Chengfeng Ability Company, you can participate in the company's ability class for free, receive free teaching from the ability teacher, use the company's training room for free, log into the company's official website for free, and many other benefits. Dai Chengsheng smiled and said, I believe that in the entire Lanshan Base City, there is almost no organization that can provide such generous benefits. Think about whether to join our Chengfeng company. Mr. Dai, don't think about it. Li Kai had already been tempted, but he didn't hesitate to hear it, and he was ready to agree immediately. Ling Ju hurriedly gave him a hand and said, Lao Li, this is a major event in life. At least I should discuss it with your parents, right? Isn't it necessary? Li Kai was a bit disapproving, but when he saw Ling Ju's wink, he nodded obediently. Lao Li, what you said is right, you should discuss it with my parents. Dai Chengsheng looked at the expressions of the two of them and looked at Ling Ju in surprise. This is indeed a major event related to your life. It is time to discuss it with your family. This is my business card. You can think about it. Call me. Thank Mr. Dai. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 5, Testability, Pengu Antification. Lao Ling, why did you stop me just now? Don't you think you are moved? Ling Ju and Li Kai left the rostrum. Their life trajectory has completely changed. There is no need to prepare for the college entrance examination. Now they go wherever they want, and the school will not interfere. Of course it's heartwarming. But I still know the truth about shopping around. Ling Ju explained with a smile. We have awakened the ability, and believe that other organizations will get news soon, and then contact us. Let's take a look at the conditions given by other organizations before making the final choice. Lao Ling, it's better for your brain. Li Kai is not a fool, so he can understand Ling Ju's meaning naturally, and he can't help but feel ashamed. Slightly calmer than you. Ling Ju touched his nose and said with a smile, where are you going now? Go back to each house and find each mother, or find a place to cheer. Go home first, I have to tell my parents the good news. Li Kai touched his head and smiled sullenly. If they know that I have awakened the ability, they will be very happy. Then separate here. Keep in touch. Okay. The two separated after leaving the school gate. Ling Ju didn't rush home, but found a remote person and tried the ability he had just obtained. The copy ability has been tested. He wants to try the earth-based ability he copied. Ling Ju found a stone. I don't know why. I looked at the stone before, it was a dead thing, but now, it looks different. Seems to be able to manipulate this stone with a single thought. This is a very mysterious and strange feeling, which I have never had before. Get up. Ling Ju said silently in his heart, and the watermelon big stone slowly floated up. Although it trembled and fell to the ground at any time, it did fly. Ling Ju was so excited. I'll go. Control the stone. I can control the stone. Because of being too excited and not focusing enough, the stone fell to the ground with a click. Ling Ju didn't care and continued to try. Rise. Descent. Turn. Speed up. Stop. Crack. The stone split in half. Worn out. The stone turns into powder. Ha ha ha, cool. Looking at the stone that turned into powder and splattered on the ground, Ling Ju was so cool. He has absolute control over this stone, he can hit it wherever he wants, he can do whatever he wants, the feeling cannot be described in words. One word. Cool. My copy ability is real. The earth-type ability I copied is also real. I can finally rest assured now. Ling Ju left this corner contentedly, and then found an internet cafe on the side of the road. He now has many questions that need to be answered urgently. Ling Ju found an unmanned corner and began to inquire. He first searched for the copy ability. Because there has never been a copy ability in the world, there is not much information about the copy ability, but an article about conjectures about possible future abilities caught Ling Ju's attention. The beginning of the article said, there are no two identical eggs in the world, nor two identical abilities. This awakened power person is the best evidence, because even the same power has many subtle differences. Different people have different abilities. There are as many abilities as there are people on the earth. In the future, what abilities will appear? Then, the author of the article listed many abilities that have not yet appeared, and made detailed guesses about these brand new abilities, one of which is copying abilities. The ability to copy is an incredible ability. It allows the ability to copy and paste the ability of other ability users like a computer copy and paste, and finally gather thousands of abilities in one and become an omnipotent god. Of course, copying abilities may also have many limitations, such as the time limit of copying, cooling problems, the limit of copying, etc. Ling Ju read the word by word, and suddenly there were countless questions in his heart. Is the ability I copied temporarily copied or is it kept forever? After I copy the ability once, how long will it take to copy the next time? Can I copy all abilities? What's wrong with my copy ability? Quote. A series of questions made Ling Ju big. He knew that no one would help him answer these questions, so he could only rely on his own groping and research. Ling Ju inquired about the information about the supernatural organization. The supernatural organization is the largest force in the world. Some powerful supernatural organizations have the right to have equal dialogue with governments of various countries. You can enjoy the cool under the big tree. As a rookie, the best choice is to join these supernatural organizations. The question is, www.mtlnovel.com, which one should I join? Ling at 9 o'clock opened the top 500 global superpower organizations, and browsed from beginning to end. The number one ranking is naturally Pengu Ability Company, which was established by the world's number one power Li Huang. Li Huang, the undisputed number one powerhouse on the earth. As can be seen from the name, Li Huang possesses abilities related to the body. Is also true, Li Huang's ability belongs to the body alienation type of ability. He can be transformed into a very terrifying creature, Pengu ant. Ants are recognized as a Hercules in nature and are known for their powerful power. Pengu ant, as the king of ants, is even more powerful and violent. It is said that Pengu ant can lift 10,000 times the weight of its own body weight, which is the champion of power in nature, and Li Huang has the ability to incarnate Pengu ant. You can imagine how strong he is. Pengu Ability Company is the world's number one ability organization, with branches all over the world, and the founder is the world's number one powerhouse. I am naturally willing to join such an organization, but I am afraid that the treatment will not be as good as the weaker ability organization. The stronger the organization, the more attractive it is. Of course, the recruitment threshold is relatively higher. Ling Ju is not afraid that they will not look down upon him, because he is afraid that the treatment will be too bad. There is no other way. Everyone squeezes their heads and wants to enter a big company. Under the fierce competition, the treatment is naturally worse. Vulcan Ability Company was founded by Vulcan, the world's second strongest player. Vulcan possesses fire-controlling abilities. It is rumored that his flames are unusual, but a kind of meteor fire from outside the sky, with extremely high temperature and no burning. The lethality is terrible. Vulcan Ability Company is also good. The third place. Chapter 6. Single Parent Family, Genetic Abnormality. Unknowingly, one afternoon passed, and the investigation was almost done. Ling Ju left the internet cafe and went home. As soon as he walked in, he smelled a tempting fragrance. What does Dad do? It smells so good. Ling Ju is a single-parent family. His parents divorced when he was very young. He and his sister were raised by his father. The father was both a father and a mother. The hardships of the family would not be realized. Especially when the company announced bankruptcy some time ago, the blow to my dad was not ordinary. Had it not been for their children, Dad would have been on the rooftop long ago, and his soul would belong to Lord Yan. Rao is so, my father's mental state is not very good recently. He spends all day drinking to dissipate his sorrows. He is very decadent and hasn't cooked for a long time. Is the sun coming out from the west today? Just when Ling Ju was puzzled, his father poked his head out of the kitchen and he smiled. Son, are you back? Dad, what are you? After half a month of getting along, Ling Ju slowly accepted this cheap dad. He still cared very much about his son. I listened to your sister about school matters. Ling Tianxi smiled openly. Son, congratulations on becoming a supernatural person. Dad is proud of you. Let me just say it. Ling Ju was stunned, no wonder Dad walked out. He knew that he had awakened the power. This was indeed a booster. You sit and rest for a while, the food will be ready immediately, and the father and son will have a drink later, and celebrate. Dad was very excited. Need help? Ling Ju asked. No need to. It didn't take long for Ling Ju to sit down, and his sister Ling Xiaotong came back. As soon as she entered the door, she threw herself directly on Ling Ju. Brother, you are great. Don't you just awaken a power? Ling Ju said in disapproval. Install. Continue to install. My sister squinted at Ling Ju. You know, today after the ability test is completed, the school posted a banner with the content like this. Warmly celebrate the awakening of Li Kai, Ling Ju and Han Chujun of our school, and win glory for the school. Han Chujun. Has she also awakened abilities? Ling Ju was a little surprised. Of course he knew Han Chujun, she was a member of the Olympics, and she was the first in the Olympics, and naturally, she was also the first in the class. What impressed Ling Ju is that this girl not only has good academic performance, but also looks very beautiful, and has a good family background. Obviously, you can rely on your face and your father, but you have to rely on talent. This is Han Chujun. Han Chujun also awakened his powers, something unexpected. Xiaotong, do you know what powers Han Chujun has awakened? Ling Ju asked. I heard it is a special kind of ability, I don't know the details. My sister shook her head slightly. Special type of ability. Serve. This meal is very delicious. Ling Ju's awakening ability. This is an earth-shattering event, and the family is extremely happy. Supper didn't end until very late. After dismissing the energetic sister, Ling Ju returned to the room and tried to absorb the genetic power. Theoretically, as long as you awaken the power, you can sense the existence of the genetic power and inhale it into your body. I should be able to too. Ling Ju took a deep breath and calmed himself completely. I heard that the first absorption is the most difficult, and it will become easier and easier later. Relax. Relax completely. Who? A few minutes later, Ling Ju gradually relaxed, his breathing became imperceptible, and even his heartbeat became much slower. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Suddenly, Ling Ju saw a light spot, which danced around the room like fireflies, drifting irregularly, and then the second, third, fourth. There are more and more light spots, and they dance around Ling Ju, like a dancing elf. This is a genetic power. Looking at these light spots, Ling Ju instinctively aroused the desire to eat these light spots. Yu reading www.yuakanshu.com. With this thought, Ling Ju saw the nearest light spot flying towards it, and finally got into the top of his head and disappeared. Then there were the second, the third, the fourth. More and more light spots penetrated into the brain, and Ling Ju felt cold in his head. This is what it feels like to absorb genetic powers. It's amazing. Eating the light spots one by one. Although the speed was slow, Ling Ju didn't feel impatient at all. On the contrary, he felt very novel, with a wonderful feeling of cultivating inner power. Unknowingly, the night passed. Ling Ju was awakened by the alarm clock. It's 6 o'clock so soon. Time flies. Ling Ju clearly felt that it hadn't been long before, but one night passed. The key was to absorb all night's genetic powers. He didn't feel tired or sleepy at all. Instead, he was full of energy and in an unprecedented state. Brother, are you up yet? My sister's voice sounded at the door, and she was still excited. Woke up. Ling Ju opened the door, and the little girl was standing outside the door wearing a cute bunny pajamas with dark circles under her eyes. Ling Ju asked in doubt, did you sleep well last night? I was too excited last night. My sister yawned. I didn't sleep well. You really are. Ling Ju shook his head. Hurry up and wash, I will go to school soon. My sister nodded her little head, and then curiously said, Brother, do you not have to go to school in the future? You don't have to take the college entrance examination. Of course. Ling Ju smiled. But I have to go to school today. The principal called last night and there is something important to me. I envy you so much. Chapter 7. The Final Choice, Join Pangu. Principal's Office. Ling Ju, Li Kai, Han Chujun, let you come today, the main thing is to join the supernatural organization. The principal opened the door and said, a total of 47 supernatural organizations contacted me yesterday and asked me for your relevant information. This is their information and relevant treatment. Take a look. The principal handed the 3 printed forms to Ling Ju's hands, and the 3 of them took it, and then slowly browsed. Lao Ling, 9 of the world's top 10 supernatural organizations are actually interested in us. Li Kai whispered, fortunately you reminded me yesterday, otherwise we would have missed so many big companies. It's so risky. The ranking of the company is not the most important thing. It depends on the treatment. Although these big organizations also like us, the treatment is not as good as that of the small companies. Ling Ju said with a smile. Student Ling Ju is right. In the past years, the most enthusiastic one was these small companies and small organizations, and the treatment was also the best. Principal Wang smiled and said, but everything has 2 sides. Small organizations are treated well, and they are not as good for your future development as large organizations. Big companies are full of talents, competition is fierce, and the big waves are rushing to see gold. Those who can gain a foothold in big companies will eventually become a party. The 3 nodded again and continued browsing. Wow, this immortal power company actually offered a monthly salary of 100,000. There is also this one, a single family villa, and an intermediate genetic power secret technique. The intermediate genetic power secret technique is too tempting. Lao Ling, everyone is very sincere, I don't know how to choose. Looking at the salary and treatment offered by each company, Ling Ju was calm, but he was actually excited. As long as he casually agrees to a family, he will immediately become a wealthy group. This is the supernaturalist. The most needed talent in the world. Of course, from excitement to excitement, Ling Ju knew in his heart that salary is the second priority, and the most important thing depends on future development. For him, how to make the most of the copy ability to become powerful is the key. Only by this, you can pass those small organizations and large companies are full of talents, and only then can you have more and stronger abilities to copy. How about the 3 classmates, do you have a choice in your heart? Principal Wang asked with a smile. Han Chujun nodded slightly. Ling Ju was silent. Li Kai looked at Ling Ju. Tell me. The principal asked with interest. I have an elder who works at the headquarters of Vulcan Ability Company. He suggested that I join Vulcan Ability Company. Although salary may not be as good as a small company, it is good for my future development. Han Chujun said truthfully. A very wise choice. The principal's eyes brightened, and there are ways to do things. This is an unchanging truth in any world. Han Chujun has a job at the headquarters of the Vulcan Power Company. This is definitely a big relationship. If you use it well, you can save countless detours. Ling Ju and Li Kai gave Han Chujun a surprised look. It is rumored that her family is very background, but no one knows how to do it. Unexpectedly, someone in her family is working at the headquarters of Vulcan Ability Company. This background is really unusual. What about you? The principal looked at Ling Ju and Li Kai again. Lao Ling, which one do you choose? Li Kai looked at Ling Ju. Pangu. Ling Ju said his choice. Pangu Ability Company is the world's No.1 ability organization, and it is extremely powerful. Generally, people with abilities will choose Pangu Ability Company. The principal nodded slightly, but as I said just now, big companies are full of talented people and the competition is fierce. It's difficult for you to get ahead, it's hard. If you want to choose, choose the best. Ling Juda said awe-inspiringly. The treatment is almost okay. I believe that as long as we work hard, we will definitely be able to make a difference. Well said. The principal expressed admiration. Young people should have the spirit of young people, this is good. Li Kai, how about you? I also choose Pangu. Ling Ju and Li Kai took the certificate issued by the principal and came to the Lanshan-based city branch of Pangu Superpower Company. This 30-story building is one of the tallest and most magnificent buildings in Lanshan-based city. I saw an ant logo hanging in the center of the building, which was very eye-catching. This is not an ordinary ant, but a symbol of Pangu God Ant, the Pangu Ability Company. Welcome to Pangu Ability Company, can I help you? Walked into the lobby on the first floor, and the beautiful welcoming lady took the initiative to greet her. Hello, we are here to apply, this is our proof. Ling Ju handed over the certificate issued by the principal. Miss Yingbin took a look, and the smile on her face became more enthusiastic. You two, please come with me. Trouble. Under the leadership of Miss Yingbin, Ling Ju and Li Kai went up to the 30th floor and came to the office of the general manager of Penggu Ability Company. What surprised Ling Ju was that this manager was actually a big beauty, with long fiery red hair fluttering in the wind like a flame, full of heroism. After a brief introduction, the beauty manager named Luo Jia entered the topic. She took out 2 contracts and handed them to them. This is the contract we prepared for you. You can take a look first, and if there is nothing wrong with it, please sign the contract first. The 2 took the contract and browsed it. They said they were looking at it. In fact, it means that the contract issued by Penggu Ability Company is usually a standard contract. Even if they are dissatisfied with the terms in it, they will not change it. Still the same sentence, big companies like Penggu are full of talents, and some are willing to join. If you are not satisfied, you can choose not to sign. Ling Ju mainly scanned the salary. Like what I saw from the principal before, the salary is really inferior to the small company. 1 set of townhouses. A monthly salary of 10,000. 1 low-level genetic power secret technique. Other. However, since I chose Penggu Ability Company, www.mtlnovel.com, it doesn't matter. Ling Ju and Li Kai signed the contract after confirming that they were correct. General Manager Luo Jia stretched out his hand and smiled. 2. Welcome to join Penggu. Ling Ju quickly shook Luo Jia's hand, and a few lines of small characters appeared in front of him again. Name: Luo Jia. Race: human race. Abilities: fire control, awakened. There is no option to copy this. Ling Ju's face changed slightly. What's the situation? Is her ability level too high, too strong? Or is my copy ability in a cooling state? Ahem. Lao Ling. Li Kai's voice came from his ears. Ling Ju recovered, and saw Li Kai looking at him with a weird expression. Only then did Ling Ju realize that he had grasped Luo Jia's hand. Excuse me, I just wandered. Ling Ju felt ashamed and hurriedly apologized. It's okay. Luo Jia smiled lightly. Since the 2 have joined our Penggu, I will give you a brief explanation of the next work arrangement. Listen well. Ling Ju and Li Kai are sitting in danger. Because you have just awakened the power, you can't even control your own power freely, so the next thing you have to do is learn. Luo Jiatao. The company has specialized training courses for the rookie period. You will all have to receive training for the next 6 months. After half a year, there will be a training assessment. Only after you pass the training assessment can you officially join our Penggu. I need to remind you that if you fail the training assessment, our contract will be terminated and you will be fired. Of course, the house, salary, and genetic power secrets allotted to you will be taken back. Chapter 8. Luxury Villa, The Secret Technique. Ling Ju and Li Kai left the manager's office and went to the 2nd floor to go through the entry procedures. Li Kai was stressed and complained constantly along the way. There are training assessments. If they fail, they will be fired. Damn. Don't worry, I have checked the information. The fastest practice is when the ability just awakens. As long as we practice hard and become a first-level ability, we are very sure to pass the training and assessment. Ling Ju smiled and comforted. There are different powers, so naturally there is a level 1. The one who has just awakened the power is the 0-level power and belongs to the weakest power. Then go up in turn. Every time the ability is upgraded by 1 level, the strength is stronger by a level. I heard that if you become a 5th-level ability, you can fly in the air and fly freely like a bird. At the 9th level, the person with the abilities can ruin the world with every gesture, almost no different from the fairy and in myths and legends. As far as level 9 is above, it is the ultimate realm of abilities. It seems to be called the ultimate abilities. I hope I can pass the assessment smoothly. I don't want to be fired or I will be laughed to death. That's right. The manager said that even the secret magic of genetic power will be taken back. How can this thing be taken back? I heard it erased memory. After the 2 people chatted, they came to the personnel hall on the 2nd floor. After completing the relevant procedures, Ling Ju and Li Kai each received a work card, a set of keys, and an introduction. Lao Ling, where are we going now? Looking at the villa key in his hand, Li Kai's eyes were hot, unable to restrain his excitement. Nonsense. Of course it is going straight to our mansion. Wow, okay, go. The villa arranged by the company for the 2 of them is located in the Tuanyuan community, not far from the Pangu Ability Company, and it is very convenient to go to work. Without a word, the two of them went straight to Tuanyuan, and after showing relevant certificates, they entered the community. Tuanyuan belongs to a high-end residential area. The distance between the villas is surprisingly large. The greenery in the residential area is also very high, and they are all 4-story villas. Rockery lawns, small bridges and running water, trees lined with trees, and a wide artificial lake. Compared with the low-rent housing community where they lived before, this place is simply heaven. This is the place where people live. What was the place we lived before? Do you compare the low-rent housing community with this high-end community? What do you think? Also, our villa is building A35. The two soon came to Villa A35. The villa was surrounded by a 1-meter-high iron fence. Inside the fence was a townhouse consisting of 3 units. The villa was 4 stories high, with a garage on the first floor, and to the 4th floor is a residential area. In addition, there are independent gardens before and after the villa. The garden area is not large, about 50 square meters, but even such a garden is bigger than the low-rent house they lived in before. After all, the low-rent house is about 40 square meters. Looking at the luxurious villa hidden in the gardens and green trees, Li Kai muttered to himself, I can live in the villa too. Lao Ling, am I dreaming? Is everything gone when I wake up? Snapped. Lao Ling, why are you hitting me? Wake you up from your dream. After watching the villa in the afternoon, Ling Ju and Li Kai went home directly, and then moved decisively. Seeing such a high-end mansion, they don't want to live in a low-rent housing community for a moment. Early the next morning, Ling Ju and Li Kai arrived at the company and were taken to the rookie training room. At the same time, there are 13 other newcomers. My name is Bai Yang, and I am your instructor. Instructor Bai Yang is a burly man, a short shirt, a pair of shorts, showing strong muscles. In the next 6 months, I will lead you through the rookie period. During the training period, I hope everyone can study hard, practice hard, and strictly follow the instructor's commands, and don't waste precious talents and hard-won opportunities. First of all, let's learn the secret technique of genetic power. The secret technique of genetic powers is of great value to us with supernatural powers. A low-level secret technique of genetic powers can increase the efficiency of absorbing genetic powers by 10 times. Intermediate genetic power secret technique, a 100-fold increase. Advanced genetic power secret technique, 1000 times. From this we can see how great the effect of the secret technique of genetic ability on our supernatural beings. Because of this thing is a baby bump of the ability organization, unless you join this ability organization, otherwise, you can't learn it at all. Ling Ju and other 15 newcomers listened quietly. The low-level genetic power mystery that I want to teach you is called, the method of inhaling knife. In the following time, Ling Ju and others began to study intensely. Learn the secret technique of low-level genetic abilities, kun suction, learn how to control your own abilities, and learn about abilities and beasts. The daily course schedule is very tight, and my life is very fulfilling. 2 months passed in a blink of an eye. On this day, Ling Ju was absorbing genetic powers as usual. I have to say that the effect of the genetic power secret technique was immediate. If Ling Ju absorbing genetic powers was equivalent to drinking water with a straw, now, it is water pipe. The efficiency difference is 10 times, and the genetic powers absorbed are completely different. After 2 months of absorption, Ling Ju's genetic abilities have become quite strong, at least much stronger than 2 months ago. Ling Ju, www.mtlnovel.com, is off work, go to dinner. At this time, someone patted his shoulder suddenly. Ling Ju opened his eyes suddenly, looking at the young man who patted himself on the shoulder with a surprised look. This boy is called Wang Jiabao. He comes from No. 2 Middle School. He is also the only person with the awakening ability in No. 2 Middle School this year. Because he stays together to study every day and has similar personalities, everyone gradually became friends. Old Ling, what's the matter? Seeing Ling Ju looking at Wang Jiabao with a weird face, Li Kai next to him asked suspiciously. No. Nothing. Ling Ju shook his head, but he was overjoyed, because just now, the copy ability that had been cooled for 2 months could be copied again. Name: Wang Jiabao. Race: human race. Ability: shadow transformation, awakened, can be copied. Finally can copy again. Ling Ju was secretly excited. In the past 2 months, the copy ability could not be copied for the second time, but he was sad. He thought that his ability could no longer be copied, but he didn't expect to turn around today. Thank goodness. It has been 2 months since the last copy, that is, the cooldown of my copy ability is 2 months. Ling Ju became active in his heart. Since it can be copied again, what ability should be copied? Although in Pengu Company, most of the entire company are supernaturalists, but Ling Ju can contact only Baiyang instructor and 14 newcomers. Ling Ju knows all these people's abilities. White Poplar instructor, control fire. Wang Jiabao's, shadow. Yu Changsheng's, control wind. Lin Xiaochen's, water control. Zhao Zhang's, fire control. Yin Kei's, Ling knows. And many more. Chapter 9, Shadow Power, Simple Test. There are many choices. So, which kind of ability to copy? The attack ability already exists. Should I copy a life-saving ability? I heard that the training test is to go to the field for actual combat trials. If it is shot to death by a beast, it will not be fun. Thinking of this, Ling Ju couldn't help but look at Wang Jiabao. In terms of life-saving ability, Wang Jiabao's shadowing is undoubtedly an excellent choice. It's him. Ling Ju calmly copied Wang Jiabao's ability. When passing by the bathroom, Ling Ju deliberately touched his stomach. You go to the cafeteria first, my stomach is a little uncomfortable. Okay. Then you come here quickly. Li Kai and Wang Jiabao did not suspect that they had him, and left by themselves. Ling Ju got into the bathroom, locked the bathroom door, and after confirming that there was no camera, they gave instructions for fusion. What? Although I have experienced it once, the feeling of splitting headache and bursting head still makes Ling Ju want to die. Ling Ju covered his mouth, forced himself not to yell, and endured it all. 10 minutes passed and the fusion was finally completed. Ling Ju wiped the cold sweat on his forehead, showing a lingering expression. If he could, he really didn't want to suffer such a crime, it was too painful. Resting for a while, Ling Ju tried the newly acquired abilities, his mind moved, his body gradually disappeared in place, and at the same time, a black shadow appeared on the ground. I only see the shadow but no people. This scene is quite strange, and this is the shadow transformation ability. The ability to become a shadow. A few seconds later, Ling Ju exited the shadowing state. He was very satisfied with this new ability. I heard Wang Jiabao said that you can see shadows in a bright place. If you are in a dark environment, you will not see any traces at all. If you use it well, you will have unexpected results. Go to eat. When he came to the cafeteria, Ling deliberately touched someone at 9 o'clock in the meal, and he realized that the copy ability had cooled down again. Next time I use it in 2 months. After 2 months of study and practice, you have all made some progress. Today, let's take a simple test. In the afternoon training, the instructor Bai Yang did not ask everyone to practice on their own as usual, but announced the test. The content of the test is very simple, ability control. Instructor Bai Yang glanced at everyone. Let me see how far you have controlled the ability. Yes, instructor. Which one of you will come first? I come. The 15 newcomers looked at each other, and a tall young man stood up. His name was Lin Xiaochen. His ability was to control fire and he liked to pretend to be forced. Okay, you come first. Instructor Bai Yang nodded slightly. Xiaochen walked to the center of the training ground, raised his right hand, and with a boom, a cluster of red flames burst out of his hand. The flame was beating in his palm, and he could not feel the burning at all. Go with. Lin Xiaochen waved hard, and the flame shot directly at a target 3 meters away. However, when there was 1 meter away from the target, the flame was weak and dissipated suddenly. The attack range is only 2 meters. Instructor Bai Yang looked at Lin Xiaochen, qualified first-level ability person. The control range of the ability is 3 meters. You are still a bit close, you will have to work hard in the future. Yes, instructor. Lin Xiaochen blushed, and then retreated. This force did not achieve the desired effect. Next. I come. Zhao Shang stood up, and a watermelon-sized water ball appeared in his hand. The water ball was spinning round and round, always keeping its spherical shape, just like a spiral pill made of rolling balls. Go with. Zhao Shang gave a low cry, and the water polo shot out like a cannonball, and instantly struck a target 3 meters away from a distance of 3 meters. It's just that the power of the water polo was too distracted. After hitting the target, it dissipated suddenly, turning into a pool of water stains, and failed to destroy the target. The range is enough, but the control of the abilities is still rough. The water polo is flashy and hardly attacking. Instructor Bai Yong commented. Zhao Zhang's face suddenly collapsed, and he returned to the crowd dingy. Then, other people showed off their abilities one after another, with a variety of abilities, just like magic, dazzling. But as the instructor commented, everyone's control of abilities is still very rough, and the displayed abilities are no different from magic. Next, the instructor looked at Ling Ju and Li Kai. They were left. Li Kai suddenly became nervous and couldn't help but look at Ling Ju. Let me try it. Ling Ju walked to the center of the training room, and under everyone's gaze, a stone pier 3 meters away flew up. Compared with Ling Ju's first control of the stone, this stone pier flies smoothly and steadily, far less trembling like the first time it will fall. Immediately afterwards, the surface of the stone pier shattered, and the stone powder and pebbles were sprinkled down. In the blink of an eye, the stone pier turned into a stone spear. Is 1 meter long, the thighs of adults are thick and very sharp, like stalactites in the ground. Go with Ling Jui index target, the stone spear cut through the air and fired at the target 3 meters away. With a chuckle, the target was directly pierced by a stalagmite. This was not over yet. At the moment of crossing the target, the stone spear suddenly stopped, and then turned back to Ling Ju. Then, the stone dust and stones that fell on the ground flew up and gathered again. The surface of the stone spear. After a while, the stone pier returned to its original state, and Ling Ju put it back in place. Papa Papa. Instructor Bai Yong took the lead and applauded. When the others saw this, they applauded. The instructor praised. The control of abilities is quite proficient, and it can almost be accurately controlled within 3 meters. www.mtlnovel.com. It is quite lethal. You are the best performer so far, and I hope to continue to work hard. Thank you. Ling Ju smiled honestly, but he burst into laughter in his heart. The feeling of pretending to be forced in front of everyone was cool. I really felt bored. Lao Ling, you are amazing. When he returned to the crowd, Li Kai was full of admiration. You can do it too, come on. Ling Ju patted Li Kai on the shoulder. Let me try. Li Kai took a deep breath and walked to the center of the training room to show it. However, compared to Ling Ju's skillful and precise control, his control is much worse than others. You have been training for 2 months, but I am very dissatisfied with the results. Except for Ling Ju, the control of other people's abilities is a mess. After the test, the instructor Bai Yong commented, is it because you didn't take the class seriously, or did you not practice well after get off work? In short, if you are still at this level after 4 months, I can only say that you will definitely be eliminated. Will be eliminated. Everyone was shocked when they heard it. This result was unacceptable to them anyway. Once they are eliminated, they will be dismissed. Ashamed, everything the company gave them will be taken back. Townhouses, wages, and genetic abilities will all be taken back. What's more frightening is that the trial assessment is for the entire base city. All newcomers will participate in a common assessment. If they fail, other organizations won't want them. It can be said that the consequences, very miserable. I have said everything that should be said, but that is the same thing. If you want to pass the test, you should practice seriously and don't always think about playing. Say everything here, you guys can do it yourself. Chapter 10. I have practiced, tempting reward. Lao Ling, why are you so strong? Do you have any tricks? Teach us. As soon as the Baiyang instructor announced his dissolution, Li Kai and Wang Jiabao approached Ling Ju. Ling Ju smiled bitterly. Where is the trick? I am practicing after get off work. I usually don't practice until 12 o'clock in the evening. I don't sleep at night, and I absorb genetic powers all night. This is the truth. As an adult, he has matured thinking and has already passed the stage of having fun. Besides, abilities are superpowers he dreams of, so Ling Ju will naturally work harder. Unexpectedly, in just 2 months, it would be a gap with this group of teenagers. You still practice more after get off work. Wang Jiabao scratched his head and said embarrassedly, after get off work, I would drink alcohol with classmates and friends, play games in internet cafes, or play ball or go shopping with my girlfriend. I have never practiced. I am about the same. Li Kai is a little ashamed. In the past 2 months, he has become a successful person in the eyes of his classmates and relatives. He is very popular and sought after. He patronizes eating, drinking, and socializing. How can he have time to practice? Ling Ju shook his head. They were originally a playful age, and the sudden change in their lives made them understandable for a while. Anyway, you guys should be serious. First pass the assessment after 6 months. This is the key to whether you can continue to stay in the company. Ling Ju still persuades. Yeah, Lao Ling, you are right, we have to practice hard after get off work, and we must pass the training and assessment. Me too. After this test, Ling Ju found that everyone seemed to recognize the urgency and seriousness of the matter and was obviously more serious than before. Ling Ju looked at him, he was also harder and harder, he didn't want to be caught up by a group of kids. Time passed, and April passed in a blink of an eye. On this day, when he was about to get off work, the manager Luo Jia brought a vote of company leaders to the training room and found new people to practice. Mr. Luo, you are here. Instructor Bai Yang stepped forward to say hello. Instructor Bai, how are they? Luo Jia glanced at the 15 newcomers standing neatly in a row with their heads high and chest tall. Other leaders of the company also looked at Ling Ju and others. Passing the assessment shouldn't be a problem. Instructor Bai Yang replied confidently. Is it? Luo Jia raised his eyebrows and looked at Ling Ju and other 15 people. I'm telling you a bad news. At the temporary request of the government, this training and assessment is for you and also for the eliminated ones in the past. This means that this training assessment is not only for you newcomers to participate, but also for those with independent awakening abilities in society, as well as those who have been dismissed in previous years. Ling Ju and others' complexions changed dramatically. In previous years, only new recruits participated in the training assessments, most of them came from major high schools, and a small part came from the autonomous awakeners in society. Those who were eliminated in previous years were not allowed to participate. But this year, even the knockouts of previous years have come. This is a huge change. You have to know that the eliminated players in previous years have practiced at least 1 year longer than them, and for a whole year, what level of strength should they reach? Is generally better than this year's newcomer, right? If it's just like this, it's fine. The problem is that the assessment rules are very cruel. The content of the assessment is the same as in previous years. I will send you to a county entrenched by beasts, hunt the beasts, and collect the heart of the beasts. Luo Jia said lightly, the more beast hearts who collects, the better the results will be. Of course, although murder is not allowed during the assessment process, mutual snatching is allowed. This means that even if you try to kill the beast and dig out the heart of the beast, you may be snatched away. In other words, this year's assessment is very unfriendly to you newcomers. Ling Ju and others are heavy. In previous years, newcomers competed. Everyone's strength is basically at the same level. Even if they compete with each other, they are relatively fair. This year is different. I joined a group of eliminated old people. They are generally strong and their competitiveness must be stronger than this year's newcomers. However, everything has two sides. Luo Jia continued. The more cruel the assessment, the more you can demonstrate your abilities. The big waves are scouring the sand and you see gold. In the name of the company's general manager, I promise you that those who can enter the top 3 in this assessment will receive rich rewards. There are rewards. Ling Ju's ears immediately stood up. First, a secret technique of intermediate genetic power worth 1 billion. Boom. The 15 newcomers suddenly became agitated, and even the instructor Bai Yang was extremely astonished. A 1 billion intermediate genetic power secret technique, this year's rewards are so big. Low-level genetic abilities occult, www.mtlnovel.com. The absorption efficiency of genetic abilities is increased by 10 times, and the absorption efficiency of intermediate genetic abilities is 100 times. This means that for the same 2 powers, the powers who practice the occult of intermediate genetic powers absorb 1 day, which is equivalent to the absorption of the powers of low-level genetic power for 10 days. The former is 1 year, which is equivalent to the latter's 10 years, a full 10 times the training gap. If I can obtain the intermediate gene ability secret art, I won't be able to absorb the gene ability quickly to the sky. Ling Zhoujun was moved. Second, re-sign the contract. Luo Jia continued. Your current contracts are all C-level contracts. If you can enter the top 3, you can re-sign A-level contracts. A-level contract. The 15 newcomers were shocked again. They have been in the company for more than half a year. They naturally learned a lot about the company, such as employee contracts. Ordinary employees generally have the lowest level of D-level contracts, with a salary of several thousand yuan, just like the office workers outside. The supernatural person started with a C-level contract, not only holding a basic salary of 10,000 yuan, but also living in luxurious townhouses, and the treatment was much better than ordinary employees. As for the higher level B-level and A-level contracts, not to mention, it is said that once the A-level contract is signed, not only the monthly salary is million plus, but the house is also replaced by a single-family villa. In addition, there are many other benefits. One of Ling Ju's deepest impressions is that he can enjoy a 30% discount when purchasing items in the company mall. This is the benefit of the A-level contract. Luo Jia's beautiful eyes glanced. Same sentence, as long as you perform well, the company will never be stingy. So, come on. Chapter 11. Arrived in the county seat, the assessment begins. Early the next morning, Ling Ju and other newcomers went to the Supervisor Management Center under the leadership of Instructor Bai Yang and several supernaturalists in the company. The Ability Management Center is a government agency. In principle, all ability users in the entire Lanshan-based city are under the management of the government. All ability users must register in the Ability Management Center and accept the control of the Ability Management Center. When I came to the Management Center, a large number of supernaturalists gathered in the large square in front of the door, and everyone was chatting together in the company. There are also those with autonomous awakening abilities from the society, as well as those eliminated in previous years. In addition, there are many news media. The annual newcomer training assessment is a major event in Lanshan-based city. The entire assessment process is broadcast live from the opening to the end, demonstrating the government's importance to the newly awakened abilities. It was 9 o'clock, and the opening meeting officially began. The relevant leaders' speeches, company representatives, speeches, and supernaturalists' representatives, all kinds of speeches ended, and the assessment officially began. All the newcomers got in the car, left Lanshan-based city, and came to the wilderness area in the wild. This is the first time Ling Ju has come to the wild in this world, and he can't help but look up curiously. Both sides of the dilapidated highway are covered with weeds and trees. The grass on the side of the road is also full of broken vehicles, tires, shared bicycles, bone remains, and messy garbage. The clean and tidy base city is two extremes. Looking at the scenes, Ling Ju could fully imagine what it was like when the disaster broke out 30 years ago. The beasts began to raging, countless people ran away in a hurry, even the cars were too late to drive away, the buses and shared bicycles were abandoned by humans. In the end, even the place of residence was abandoned. The wild is so desolate. This scene turned out to be outside the base city. Is that a lake? It's so big. I've grown up so big, and I've never seen such a big lake. And the forest, I can't see it at a glance. Although the wilderness is desolate and primitive, there are also scenes that the base city cannot match, such as lakes, forests, mountains, towering trees, fields. Everything made the group of teenagers who hadn't left the base city since they were young stunned. Ling Ju also sighed that compared with the previous life, the human living space in this world has been sharply compressed, and large areas of residence have become wilderness. But the sky is bluer. The water is greener. The air is better. The natural environment is much better than the previous life. Everything has advantages and disadvantages, and disasters are no exception. In a sense, this disaster may be a kind of self-protection for the Earth. Time passed quickly amidst the exclamation of everyone. After more than an hour, the team finally arrived at its destination, Kaijapo County. All get off the bus. Did you see this dilapidated county seat in front of you? This is the destination of this assessment, Kaijapo County. With the invasion of the beast 30 years ago, the county seat of Kaijapo was occupied by the beast, and it has since become a paradise for the beast. Quote. Director Yang of the Supervisor Management Center held a loudspeaker and shouted, over the years, our Lanshan base city has been committed to the expansion of the base city. Kaijapo has a very good environment and is an important goal of expansion. So for the past few years, we have been cleaning up the fierce beasts in Kaijapo County. Up to now, all the powerful fierce beasts have been eliminated, and only a large number of Tier 1 and Tier 2 beasts are left. Therefore, we chose this place as the place for assessment this year. Your mission is very simple. Enter Kaijapo County, clean up the remaining fierce beasts, and then bring their hearts out. Remember, safety first, assessment second. On the premise of ensuring safety, try to form different teams, because this will lower your evaluation. Assessment time, 3 days. The county town is very dilapidated. The streets are full of fierce animal ****** and bones. Shops and tall buildings are covered with plants. Everything makes this county town look like the lost city in the movie. Lingju walked on the street full of weeds and couldn't help but sigh. In just 30 years, a good county has become like this. Shoo. Just as Lingju was secretly sighing, a strong wind hit from behind. Lingju's heart was stunned, and he quickly moved 2 meters to the side, avoiding the attack behind him. Shua. I saw a big dog wiping his body and flying forward, then settled firmly on the ground. This is a giant canine beast with a head of 2 meters long, a mane like a steel pin, and 4 canine teeth that are 10 centimeters long. First order fierce beast, saber-toothed dog. Lingju recognized the other party. In the past 6 months, in addition to practicing kun suction, to absorb genetic abilities and control abilities, they also have to learn theoretical knowledge related to abilities and beasts, including identifying beasts. Lingju is confident, www.mtlnovel.com, he can basically recognize any beast that has been recorded. The saber-toothed dog in front of me was evolved from a husky, but unlike the husky, they are extremely cruel, aggressive, fast, and even more terrifying than a lion. Wong. The saber-toothed dog stared at Lingju. His eyes were fierce. He let out a high-pitched growl, jumped up suddenly, and bit at Lingju's neck. With its terrifying bite force, if it bites this, Lingju has no doubt that his head will explode in one bite. Good job. Lingju grabbed at the void, grabbed a stone out of thin air and smashed it hard. The watermelon-sized stone was as light as nothing in his hand, and it was surprisingly fast. Boom. The stone was in the middle of the saber-toothed dog's mouth, and with a creak, it broke the saber-toothed dog's teeth directly, and then hit the saber-toothed dog's head. Woo. The saber-toothed dog let out a scream, and flew out suddenly. Will you kill you when you are sick? Lingju stepped on the ground, and in the sound of poo-poo-poo-poo, soil thorns emerged from the ground and directly pierced the saber-toothed dog to the heart. Woo. The saber-toothed dog rolled his eyes, and there was no sound. Lingju worried that he was pretending to be dead, so he was relieved by blasting his dog's head with a stone hammer. Then took out the knife, pulled its heart out, and put it in the space bag. Space bag is said to be a nursery bag for space kangaroos. It generally has a space of more than 100 cubic meters and is a very useful space storage tool. It's just that this thing is very expensive, and ordinary people with abilities can't afford it. Lingju was temporarily loaned to him by the company, and he had to return it after the assessment. Carry on. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 12. Gravity Ability, Tier 2 Fierce Beast. Lingju came to an abandoned shop, and there was movement inside. Through the broken doors and windows, several teddy-sized kittens were playing. These kittens are all fluffy, simple and cute, and their flaming red hair is very soft. Girls will love them when they meet them. Lingju knows that they are not ordinary kittens, but the cubs of the flame cats. Now they look cute. Once they grow up, they will be terrifying beasts that are addictive and brutal. Do you want to kill them? Meow. Just when Lingju was muttering to himself, a sharp meow suddenly came from his ear. Lingju gong-sighed his head, a flash of cold light flashed, and a heart-piercing pain struck him. His face was cut out with 4 slits, blood oozing out. Nima. Lingju was furious, staring coldly at the flaming cat that burst out suddenly, raging in his eyes. Is 1 meter tall and 2 meters long, with red hair like flames on her body, and her red eyes are like gems. Is an adult, flaming cat. The flame cat, a tier 1 fierce beast, is not only as fast as lightning, but also has extremely sharp claws, and its combat power is a bit stronger than the saber-toothed dog. How dare you cut through the handsome and suave face of Lao Su, and die for Lao Su. Lingju decisively launched an attack, and a stone spear pierced it directly. Meow. Flame cat let out a low growl, easily avoiding the attack of the stone spear, and then took Lingju's neck straight. Its sharp claws cut iron like mud, cut gold and break jade, which can easily cut Lingju's throat. Go to die. Ling Ju let out a cold snort, stamped his right foot on the ground, and a wall of soil rose in front of him, blocking the attacking route of the flame cat. The flame cat stepped on the dirt wall, jumped over the dirt wall with a slight leap, and pounced on Ling Ju again, but it was greeted by 3 grapefruit-sized stone bullets. Puff puff. The flame cat is indeed a speed-type beast, once again avoiding the attack of the 3 stone bullets, but before it kills Ling Ju, the 3 stone bullets return and kill a carbine. This move was a bit unexpected by the flame cat, and it was too late to dodge. Boom, boom. The 3 stone bullets hit the flame cat's waist and abdomen. The flame cat was staggered and lost his balance in the air. Ling Ju was waiting now. A stone spear appeared in his hand again, stabbing the flame cat's softest part like lightning, belly. Puff. The stone spear pierced in, the flame cat struggled, then fell to the ground. Whew. Ling Ju breathed a sigh of relief. Speed-type beasts are the most troublesome. They are too fast to attack. Fortunately, he has a better skill. Ling Ju cut off the flame cat's heart, then glanced at the few flame cat cubs in the shop and snapped his fingers. Boom. The shop collapsed instantly, engulfing a few cubs. These cubs are too small to be even a first-class beast. Their hearts are not worth harvesting, but they are beasts and they must die. Help! Help! Ling Ju continued to move forward, but not far away. A call for help suddenly came from the front. Ling Ju rushed over and saw a scene that made his scalp numb. A striped boa constrictor with thick thighs at the waist of an adult entangled a teenager. The young man struggled violently and called for help, but the power of the python was too strong, and his struggle was of no avail. As the python continued to shrink, the boy's cry for help became weaker and weaker, and even the bones made a crackling sound. Help me! Seeing Ling Ju, the young man shouted heartbreakingly as if he saw the straw for life-saving. Ling Ju knows that you can't see death without saving. In this kind of assessment, everyone can compete with each other and each other's gains. But if you see death without saving, sit and watch each other's death, you will be considered as a character problem, which is not conducive to future development. Kill. Ling Ju waved his big hand, the stones in his hand gathered, a heavy stone hammer was formed. Ling Ju lifted the heavy hammer and hit the head of the colorful python. Boom, boom. Several times, the head of the colorful boa constrictor was directly smashed into pieces, and gradually loosened his body, and the boy broke free from it. Thank you for saving me. The boy looked at the colorful boa constrictor whose head was smashed. If it weren't for you, I would be dead. It's okay. Be careful from now on. Ling Ju patted the other person on the shoulder, and kindly reminded him, but the next moment, Ling Ju was stunned, because at the moment when he was in contact with the young man, a few lines of small words appeared before his eyes again. Name: Fu Chang'an. Race: human race. Ability: control gravity. Awakened, can be copied. Control gravity. This guy's ability is to control gravity. Good deed, this is a rather buggy ability. Moreover, it matches well with my soil type ability. Ling Ju was immediately excited. In the past 6 months, he has copied soil control, shadow transformation, and another ability. But apart from controlling soil, shadow transformation and another ability cannot be easily used. Ling Ju was worried about being discovered, so he thought of his copy ability. Gravity ability is different, don't worry about being discovered, because it also belongs to Earth-type ability. In fact, after many Earth-type abilities have cultivated the Earth-type abilities to a high level, they generally derive gravity abilities. I have an Earth-based ability. Even if the gravity ability is exposed, others will think that this is the ability of my Earth-based ability, and will not think of copying abilities. As soon as he thought of this, Ling Ju duly copied Fu Chang'an's gravity ability, and then left after a brief chat with Fu Chang'an. He finds a relatively hidden and safe place to fuse the power of gravity, and add another whole card. There is nothing else in this county town. There are countless shops and residential buildings. Ling Ju easily found a safe and hidden place. After half an hour, Ling Ju returned to the street and continued to hunt down the wandering beasts, www.mtlnovel.com, as if nothing happened. There are many fierce beasts entrenched in this scene, but most of them are Tier 1 fierce beasts. With Ling Ju's current strength, the Tier 1 fierce beast was not his opponent at all. Pushing horizontally all the way, dozens of fierce beasts were killed by Ling Ju's hand. Kaijapo Zoo. Ling Ju came to a zoo, and then heard a fierce fight. Ling Ju followed the sound and saw a group of people besieging a giant crocodile beast. This is a crocodile beast that is 10 meters long and looks like a van. Its back is covered with pieces of hard lumpy scale armor, and rows of 1 meter long bone spurs grow on each side of its ribs, looking terrifying. It is actually the second-order fierce beast Ironthorn saw crocodile. Ling Ju recognized the crocodile. These guys are so bold, a group of rookies dare to besiege Tier 2 fierce beasts. Don't die. Thinking of this, Ling Ju couldn't help looking at the besieging Ironthorn saw crocodile, and then he was stunned, because one of them was Li Kai. Why does Lao Li mix with this group of people? Ling Ju frowned deeply. Except for Li Kai, the other people are obviously older. Among them, there is even a middle-aged uncle. If you guess it is correct, they are either the ability to self-awaken in society, or the ability to be eliminated in previous years. Li Kai, mixed with these people. Everyone, work hard, this beast can't resist it. A young man in sportswear shouted and increased his attack. He is a fire-type ability player. He is a master of fire-type ability with one hand. He has all kinds of fire spears, fire blades, fireballs, and fireballs at his fingertips, and his attack range exceeds 3 meters. Obviously, he is a second-level ability. Chapter 13. One good show, gravity shows its power. Sure enough, there has been a second-level ability. Ling Ju secretly increased his vigilance. Although the first and second-level abilities belong to the low-level abilities, the combat power was completely incomparable. Regardless of the depth of the internal power, or the control of the ability, the second-level ability person is not comparable to the first-level ability person. To put it simply, a second-level ability player can easily defeat 10 first-level ability players. The gap between the two parties is like a special soldier king and an ordinary person, and it is not at the same level. Ha ha ha, get it done. With the efforts of a group of people, this Ironthorn saw crocodile was finally killed. The young man in sportswear walked up to the Ironthorn saw crocodile and smiled satisfied. Everyone, thank you for your help. You don't have to thank you. A middle-aged uncle came over and said, as stated in advance, after helping you kill this Ironthorn saw crocodile, you promised to give each of us 2 hearts of Tier 1 fierce beasts as rewards. Now it is time to fulfill the promise. Quote. Other people also came over. I did say that beforehand. The sportswear youth smiled evilly at the corners of his mouth, but now, I have changed my mind. Not only do I have no 2 Tier 1 fierce beast hearts I promised you, but you have to hand over your fierce beast hearts. Otherwise, don't blame me for going crazy and turning my face. Denial. Do you dare to play with us? Everyone was furious and glared. It's you guys who don't think about it, you still talk about honesty at this time. The sportswear youth snorted. Your genetic powers are almost exhausted, right? And I still have most of the genetic powers, how do you fight me? Rat. Li Kai and the others immediately gritted their teeth. The youth in sportswear themselves are second-level ability players, and their strength is much stronger than a few of them. In addition, to deal with the Ironthorn saw crocodiles just now, their genetic powers are huge, and they are not his opponents. Anyone who is acquainted, immediately hand over the heart of the beast, otherwise, I will really go crazy. The young man in sportswear waved his hand, and a wall of fire broke out of thin air, stopping in front of everyone, and surrounding everyone in the middle. What do you want to do? Feeling the blazing heat coming from the flame, everyone's complexion changed drastically, and the anger in their hearts. Hand over the heart of the beast. The sportswear youth said lightly, otherwise, no one would want to leave. The trial assessment prohibits fighting, do you want to violate the rules? Everyone glared. It is true that fighting is forbidden in the trial, but it doesn't say that you can't fight the disabled. The sportswear youth smiled triumphantly. Being disabled, do you know what it means? Too much deception, fight with him. Everyone was completely enraged, but before they could launch an attack, several fire spears pierced out instantly and withstood everyone's thighs. If you don't want to be crippled, immediately hand over the heart of the beast. The sportswear youth smiled disdainfully, otherwise, I will make you lame. Feeling the blazing heat from the legs, everyone has no doubt about the sharpness of the fire spear. As long as the young people in sportswear have a thought, this fire spear can penetrate their thighs and make them lame, and this is something they cannot accept anyway. Today is the first day of the assessment. If you become lame, how can you play in the next 2 days? This assessment will definitely be eliminated. You are vicious. In the end, everyone could only hold back the anger in their hearts and took out the heart of the beast. They admit it. This is how you know each other. The young man in sportswear was very satisfied with the performance of the people, and put all the hearts of the beasts away, and then said, "You can get out." What sportswear youth and others didn't know was that their every move was captured by a camera installed in a building in advance. The leaders of various power organizations looked at this scene and couldn't help shaking their heads with emotion. This guy is really bad. It's really bad enough, but it's normal. The rules are not like this. But it's not a big deal. It's crazy to wait until the third day. That guy is familiar, he seems to have seen it when. His name is Fei Jie, last year's knockout. White Yang, do you know him? I taught him for half a year last year, can you not know him? He is the knockout of your Pangu. Look, someone has appeared again. Everyone looked at the computer together. Watching the youths in sportswear take away their fierce beast hearts, although Li Kai and others gritted their teeth with hatred, there was nothing to do. When they were about to leave, a joking voice sounded. I just came across this great scene. Wonderful. Who? Everyone looked at the master of the voice, and saw a handsome young man walking out of the corner. Li Kai couldn't help but say with joy when he saw the incoming person, Lao Ling. Old Li, you were a little embarrassed just now. Ling Ju smiled and joked. That guy is a second-level ability, we are not his opponent. Li Kai glared angrily at the youth in sportswear, www.mtlnovel.com, his eyes were full of unwillingness. Don't worry. I will avenge you. Ling Ju gave Li Kai a relieved look, then looked at the youth in sportswear. Friend, give me a face, how about? Face. What do you think you are? Fei Jie looked at Ling Ju as if he was mentally retarded. I thought there would be something amazing, but I didn't expect to be a fool. Listen, hand over your beast heart, otherwise, I don't mind turning you into really stupid. Want my beast heart? Ling Ju smiled slightly, took off the space bag around his waist and threw it on the ground, smiling. I put it here, you can come and get it anytime. Count you acquaintance. Fei Jie snorted and walked straight to the space bag, ready to pick it up. Unexpectedly, at this moment, a surge of pressure suddenly appeared, pressing on his body like the top of Mount Tai, and he was caught off guard. Not good. It's gravity. Fei Jie was also well informed, and immediately flew back, and as long as he exited the envelope of gravity, gravity could not help him. However, what happened next told Fei Jie that his thoughts were a bit naive, and a more terrifying gravity crushed down, arbitrarily pressing Fei Jie's body, and Fei Jie's waist was bent. Retreat. It's too late. Crack. Click. Ling Ju snapped his fingers, and the ground under Fei Jie's feet turned into quicksand, and Fei Jie's legs were sunk in an instant, until the roots of his thighs stopped. Immediately afterwards, the quicksand condensed into a solid ground again, and Fei Jie was imprisoned. A second-level ability person, but that's all. Chapter 14. Tier 2 Fierce Beast, Black Back Giant. Is this, gravity? I'm going. This kid is obviously an Earth-type ability, but can use gravity ability. It shouldn't be. Only the 6th level Earth system can derive the gravity ability. This kid is obviously only 2nd level, and can control gravity. There is only one possibility, this kid's Earth system power includes gravity power. In the monitoring room outside the county seat, a group of team leaders from the supernatural organization stared at the big screen, which was showing the scene of Ling Ju suppressing Fei Jie. It can control soil and rock, but also control gravity. It seems that they are all Earth abilities, but in fact it is equivalent to awakening 2 abilities, lucky guy. A handsome young man couldn't help but admire. This kid's potential is not much worse than those rare dual power geniuses. Indeed. Others nodded one after another. The dual powers awakened 2 powers, 1 more power than ordinary people, and naturally they had an advantage over ordinary powers. Which family does this kid belong to? The handsome young man suddenly asked. His heart has already raised the idea of digging people. If he digs such a genius, the bonus will never be small. What? Want to dig someone? Instructor Bai Yang squinted at him. Is he from your Pangu? The handsome young man chuckled, but said, Old Bai is joking, how dare I dig your Pangu corner? Just kidding, don't take it seriously. Humph. Level 2 ability person, but so. Ling Ju walked up to Fei Jie, a young man in sportswear, with disdain in his words. I'm planted this time. Fei Jie's face was gloomy. What do you want? Return to the person's body by his own way. Ling Ju solved Fei Jie's space bag. They just killed this iron thorn saw crocodile for you. Instead of fulfilling your promise, you even snatched their beast heart. You are just rubbish. Huh. Don't be pretending to be there. Fei Jie snorted coldly. If you were you, you wouldn't be any better than me. You reminded me. Ling Ju raised his eyebrows and handed the space bag to Li Kai. Old Li, take your heart away. This, well, thanks, Lao Ling. Li Kai hesitated and took away the heart of the beast that belonged to him. This is related to whether he can pass the test, not when he is hypocritical. When other people saw this, they even said, brother, thank you for defeating this and helping us get back the heart of the beast. I am grateful. Thank me. No need. Ling Ju glanced at them, pointing at Fei Jie and said, I don't mean to help you regain the heart of the beast, they are mine now. The middle-aged uncle and the others are depressed. He just met a villain and is now a robber again. Why are you so unlucky? Old Li, let's go. Ling Ju collected the heart of the beast and led Li Kai into the depths of the zoo. There should be many powerful beasts in the zoo. Sure enough, when I walked to an orangutan garden, I encountered a giant chimpanzee made of steel. This is a second-level beast black-backed giant gorilla. Li Kai's face changed drastically. Lao Ling, this is a second-level beast, shall we take a detour? Why make a detour? The heart of a second-level beast is equivalent to the hearts of 10 first-level beasts. It would be a pity to miss it. Ling Ju licked his lips. Are we two rivals? Li Kai looked at the black-backed giant gorilla with bulging muscles, and his heart beat a drum. Before they could kill the iron thorn saw crocodiles, on the one hand they were crowded. The main reason is that the iron thorn saw crocodiles left the lake, unable to exert their full combat power, so they were besieged to death. The black-backed giant gorilla is different. The land is its territory. There are only 2 of them. Can you kill this stuff? Li Kai expressed deep doubts. Don't worry. There is me. Ling Ju smiled confidently and walked towards the black-backed giant gorilla. The black-backed giant gorilla spotted Ling Ju for the first time. A tyrannical roar flashed through a pair of brown pupils, and the roaring sound waves exploded like a thunderstorm, shaking the eardrums of people with pain. At the same time, the black-backed giant gorilla beat his chest, making a dull clashing sound, and an extremely fierce aura spread out. Call you uncle. Ling Ju pressed hard, and a terrifying gravity rolled down. The black-backed giant gorilla was crushed and staggered, but that was all. Its body was extremely strong, and it was able to bear this gravity. Then, it hit Ling Ju with a fist against the terrifying gravity. Its sharp fist seemed to penetrate the air, making a stern sound. My dear, under such a heavy gravity, the speed is still so fast, if there is no gravity, then can't it go to the sky? Ling Ju was secretly speechless, and even created a wall of soil to block the fist of the giant black-back. Immediately after, Ling Jui slapped the ground, and the solid ground suddenly turned into mud and sand, directly sinking the feet of the black-backed giant gorilla. The black-backed giant gorilla struggled, trying to pull his legs out of the quicksand. However, at this moment, a huge boulder abruptly shot out from the side, like a cannonball, hitting the forehead of the giant black-back. The black-backed giant gorilla was smashed and staggered, and his feet sank into the quicksand again. Yu reading www.yuakanshu.com. Li Kai shot. Good job, Lao Li. Ling Ju exclaimed, and a more violent gravity rolled down. The black-backed giant continued to sink into the quicksand, while Li Kai on the other side continued to make stone bullets and hit the black-backed giant's head severely, again and again. Finally, under the combined efforts of the two, the black-backed giant gorilla was completely sunk in the quicksand, and then the quicksand quickly condensed. After a while, the soft quicksand turned into a solid ground again, and the black-backed giant gorilla was imprisoned in the ground, with only one head left. Lao Ling, we made it. Li Kai was overjoyed. I'm glad it's a bit early now. Ling Ju shook his head, created a giant stone bullet, and stabbed the black-backed giant gorilla fiercely. Boom! The stone bullet hit the forehead of the black-backed giant gorilla, and directly exploded the black-backed giant's head. The white and red brains splashed out. The black-backed giant gorilla finally died this time and could not die again. Get it done. Ling Ju was relieved. Lao Ling, did we kill the black-backed giant gorilla? Li Kai was a little unbelievable. What do you mean? Ling Ju smiled, and took out 5 fierce beast hearts from the space bag. Lao Li, these 5 first-order fierce beast hearts belong to you, and I want their hearts. No no no. This is too much. Li Kalian said. I just assisted by the side. You are the main force in killing the black-backed giant gorilla. Just give me 2 tier 1 beast hearts. Take it, and be polite to me. Ling Ju stuffed 5 fierce beast hearts into Li Kai's space bag, and then walked towards the black-backed giant gorilla. Unexpectedly, at this moment, a lazy voice sounded. Chapter 15. Speed Ability, Encounter Nemesis. Good fighting spirit, a good seed. If it is placed in previous years, this little guy will definitely be in the top 3, but this year may not be. Yes, there have been more asterisk this year, although they are all eliminated, but after all they have been practicing for at least 1 year, the strength is indeed stronger. Anyway, Pengu chose a good newcomer this time, which is enviable. Hearing everyone's praise, Bai Yong felt very comfortable. Ling Ju was taught by him. Others praised Ling Ju, and there was light on his face. Look, someone is here again. It's actually him, this is a good show. Ling Ju got the black-backed giant gorilla out of the ground, then broke its abdomen, and just got the heart out, a lazy voice sounded. Thank you for helping me kill it. Who? Li Kai suddenly turned around. Ling Ju also stopped his movements, turned around and looked over, and found that the person here was a shabby young man. A vest, a pair of shorts, a pair of flip-flops under his feet, and the expression of sleepy eyes, it looks very lazy. Do you want to grab food? Li Kai looked bad. It's right to grab food, but it may not be the case. The lazy young man yawned and opened his wistful eyes. You are also tigers. You will really put gold on your face, so I don't feel embarrassed. Ha ha. Ling Ju smiled. Want to rob us? Robbery. How ugly to say. I just took what should belong to me. The lazy young man waved his hand. Okay. Let's not talk about the extra nonsense. Hand over your space bag, and then immediately disappear from me. What if I don't? Ling Juhei smiled. Looking at it. The lazy young man stepped forward and instantly appeared in front of Ling Ju, with his eyes facing each other, his lips opened slightly and he let out a bang. The next moment, Ling Ju felt a sharp pain coming from his abdomen, and the whole person ran up like an outburst and flew out directly. Old Ling. Li Kai was shocked. Almost at the same time, the lazy young man appeared in front of Li Kai, kicked aside, and Li Kai flew out with him. Unbearable. The lazy young man looked at Ling Ju and Li Kai who were flying out, and yawned again. What a fast speed. Ling Ju's pupils shrank sharply. His ability must be a speed ability. Speed ability is a rather rare combat ability, if it can be copied. Do you want me to repeat what I just said? The lazy young man looked at the two and said. You actually have a speed type ability, which is indeed unexpected to me. However, you want to steal my space bag, daydreaming. Ling Ju barked his teeth, with a provocative expression on his face. If you have the ability, come over and grab it. No coffin. The lazy young man snorted and reappeared in front of Ling Ju. His speed was too fast, leaving behind a bunch of afterimages. However, without waiting for the lazy youth to launch an attack, an extremely surging pressure suddenly pressed on him. Unprepared, the lazy youth was directly suppressed. Good chance. How could Ling Ju miss such a good opportunity? Grabbed the void, grabbed a huge boulder and smashed it over. Boom. The mud was flying, the stones splashed, and the lazy young man let out a scream, his ribs seemed to be broken. Rao is so, Ling Ju still didn't let him go. The mud rushed under his feet, directly overwhelming the legs of the lazy young man, confining him to death. After finishing this, Ling Jukai was relieved, and then looked at Li Kai. Are you okay? It's okay. Li Kai clutched his face that was kicked out of a mud mark and said, although this guy is fast, but his strength is relatively average, the kick didn't hurt me just now. It's all right. Ling Ju nodded slightly, and walked to the lazy young man. I understand how you want to rob us, but unfortunately, you are too weak. You actually have gravity. The lazy young man became very gloomy. I was planted this time, but don't be proud of it. There are still 2 days to go for the assessment. I have time to play with you. Do you think you still have a chance? Ling Ju sneered. Your speed ability is very abnormal, and you are also a second-level ability. To be honest, there are few better than you. For that huge reward, a strong competition like you, it's better to be eliminated early. What do you want to do? The lazy young man's face changed dramatically. I warn you that murder is forbidden in the trial assessment. If you dare to kill me, you will lose the qualification for the assessment. Kill you. I want to. Ling Ju rolled his eyes, but I don't want to lose the qualifications for the assessment, so I can only sorry for your legs. No. You can't do this. The lazy young man was shocked. www.mtlnovel.com. His speed ability relies on a pair of legs to function. If there are problems with his legs, the assessment will definitely fail. I'm sorry. Although this is cruel to you, there is no way, this is the assessment. Ling Ju shook his head slightly, and shook his right hand firmly. Crack. The ground that imprisoned the lazy young man's legs tightened sharply, only to hear a click. The lazy young man suddenly wailed like a pig. When Ling Ju released him from the ground again, his legs were already severely deformed. Sorry. I will not only interrupt your legs, but also take away your space bag. If you are upset, I will beat lousy. Ling Ju smiled, took off the lazy youth's space bag, and left with Li Kai. The lazy young man looked at his twisted legs, then at the missing space bag, gritted his teeth, crying without tears, thought he could eat black, but ended up like this, why bother? Examiner. Come and save me, I will give up. Hurry up, I am in danger now. This guy is too lucky. Who can say no? The low-level abilities are not very good at controlling abilities. The speed abilities occupies a huge advantage. If against other newcomers, this guy can easily defeat them. Unfortunately, he a person with a gravity ability. Gravity ability is too restrained from this guy's speed ability. I can only say that he is unlucky. Poor fellow. I encountered teleportation last year, and this year I encountered the gravitational ability. I have been out for 2 consecutive years. I don't know. Okay. It won't be fun for any one of you to bring him back and be eaten by a passing beast. Let me go. Chapter 16. Slaughter the Wolves, Lionization Ability. After solving the lazy youth, Ling Ju and Li Kai separated again, and the trial assessment requires that they should not form a team as much as possible, so it is better to act separately. Ling Ju is ambitious. The goal is not as simple as passing the assessment. He wants to be in the top 3 and cannot lower his evaluation because of the team. Continue to go deep into the zoo. There are many fierce beasts in the park, and they are generally more powerful. After the iron thorn saw alligator and the black-backed giant gorilla, Ling Ju encountered several fierce beasts, but most of them were tier 1 beasts, and Ling Ju easily killed them in seconds. In a blink of an eye, I came to a small forest and saw more than a dozen wolf-like beasts biting a beast's corpse, eating happily. These giant wolves are 4 meters long and are silver-white all over. The mane on the back is upright like steel needles, and the claws under their feet are shining with coldness. Iron Claw Silver Wolf, Tier 1 Fierce Beast. Ling Ju judged the identity of these giant wolves, and then quietly touched it. Although the Iron Claw Silver Wolf is a first-class beast, it wins in large quantities. To be on the safe side, a sneak attack is better, and a sneak attack has to be closer. With the strength of Ling Ju's second-level ability, the attack range is about 10 meters. Beyond this range, the ability control is not very good. So it has to be within 10 meters. Woo! However, Ling Ju underestimated the alertness of the Iron Claw Silver Wolf, and before he was completely approached, he was spotted by an Iron Claw Silver Wolf responsible for alert. With a long whistle, the other iron-clawed silver wolves stopped eating and looked over. Woo woo! Screamed in a low voice, his eyes were cold, all the iron-clawed silver wolf eyes were full of warning and murder. They have food now, they just want to have a full meal, and don't want to pester Ling Ju. As long as Ling Ju's consciousness leaves, they will not attack Ling Ju. But there are many things in this world, and it is not that you can do what you want without thinking. Instead of leaving, Ling Ju approached step by step. Woo! This behavior completely angered the Ironclaw silver wolves. They screamed up to the sky, and at the same time rushed over. When they got close, they scattered all of their brains and directly surrounded Ling Ju, showing an extremely good teamwork. This is the hunting art of wolves. A single iron-clawed silver wolf may not be strong, but together, they can produce tier 2 fierce beasts. It's a pity that in the face of absolute strength, all conspiracies and tricks are paper tigers. As soon as the pack of wolves approached Ling Ju, a terrifying gravitational force crushed him. The pack of wolves was crushed to a stagger and its back was directly bent. Immediately afterwards, sharp thorns drilled out of the ground. Accompanied by a uniform chirp, all the iron-clawed silver wolves suffered instantly. Either was pierced with claws, or pierced through the thighs, or pierced through the stomach. The iron claws and silver wolves immediately let out a scream. Come again. Ling Ju waved his big hand, and a dozen stone spears were formed, which directly penetrated the iron-clawed silver wolf's body, nailing them all to the ground. Get it done, call it a day. Ling Ju snapped his fingers. This is where the advantage of the dual system ability lies. The gravity ability launches a sneak attack, and the earth system ability attacks, and the damage is too great. This kid is really a good seed. It's a pity that he joined Pangu, but it doesn't matter, it's nothing more than a liquidated damage. In the monitoring room, the eyes of the leaders of many supernatural organizations flickered, and their eyes were full of admiration and inexplicable colors. Good things, you have a share. They are thinking of poaching. The Baiyang instructor naturally felt the pressure. He understood that these guys fell in love with Ling Ju, and he could even imagine that the better Ling Ju's performance was, the more they looked at Ling Ju's body. Ling Ju signed a C-level contract with the company, and the liquidated damages are only 1 million. As long as other companies are sincerely poaching people, it is entirely possible to poach Ling Ju. Bai Yang's eyes flickered, and the pressure was heavy. No. You have to notify Mr. Luo quickly. Ling Ju didn't know that he had attracted the attention of various supernatural organizations. After collecting the hearts of a dozen iron-clawed silver wolves, he went on the road again. Time passed, 2 days passed in a blink of an eye. After 2 days of hunting, the beasts in the county are almost invisible. The most careful thing now is the other competitors, who have gone crazy recently. In an abandoned residential building, Ling Ju sits in front of the window on the 29th floor, eating fresh barbecue while looking out the window. The trial assessment has reached the final stage. Whether you can pass the assessment and what rank you can get depends on this last half day. So everyone is crazy. Robbery. It's not uncommon. Being robbed is also not uncommon. In order to deal with this situation, many people hid like him. With my current harvest, I wonder if I can make it into the top 3. Ling Ju pondered silently. He is bound to get the top 3 rewards, whether it is an intermediate genetic energy secret technique, a million monthly salary, or a single family villa, he wants it. After more than half an hour, after lunch, Ling Ju rested for a while, and then continued to observe. In the past 2 days, he has robbed a lot of people, so he is considered small and famous. Many people will run away if they see him from a distance. Therefore, the robbery became more and more difficult. Ling Ju could only stand still and wait for the prey to appear. Boom boom boom. There was a sudden fierce fighting in the distance. Ling Ju turned his head to look, only to see a few supernatural players on top of a building in the distance. Good chance. Ling Ju jumped out immediately. He must have collected a lot of beast hearts. As long as he defeats him, all his gains will belong to us. Everyone, work hard. Kill. 4 abilities are besieging a lion. Lion head, human body, lion claws, lion tail, lion-like hair, but able to stand up, very similar to the lion man in myths and legends. In fact, he is not a lion man, but a supernatural person with lionization ability. Lionization ability is a physical alienation ability. Once transformed, it will have the power, speed and attack power like a lion. www.mtlnovel.com, is very powerful. The 4 people who besieged him were a fire-type ability, a water-type ability, a wood-type ability, and a sonic ability. The 4 of them are extraordinary in strength and cooperate quite tacitly, but they are still not the opponent of the lion. Lions walk like flying, fast, can easily avoid the attacks of fire, water, and wood abilities, and can cause some obstacles for sonic abilities. Besiege me. You are fooled, I deliberately exposed hidden spots, just to seduce you idiots, so as to **** your delivery. The lion man looked up to the sky and laughed, and he reached the wood-type supernatural power in a flash, and patted it. Boom. The lion man was too fast, and the wood-type supernatural player was shot in the chest before dodge at all, spit out a mouthful of blood, and flew out stiffly. First, the lion's figure flashed, and he came to the water system supernatural person again, and then shot it again in the horrified and desperate gaze of the water system supernatural person. Boom. The water system supernatural player also flew out. Not good. Get out. Seeing the lion man suddenly burst out, the fire type and sonic power players were shocked, but the speed of the lion was much faster than them. Boom. Boom. There were two muffled bangs, and the fire-powered and sonic powers flew out immediately. Get it done. The lion slapped his palms and showed a satisfied smile. If he can persist until now, everyone has either been robbed smoothly or harvested. The four abilities in front of me, as long as one person has the heart of a beast, the number will definitely not be small, and this wave of fishing will not lose money. Subscribe to Chinese Novel Audiobook YouTube channel Chapter 17, Fishing Law Enforcement, Count the Gains. Who is this guy, so fierce? His name is Ronan, last year's knockout. Last year. No wonder it's so strong. The battle between Ronan the lion and the four abilities naturally attracted other competitors. Everyone looked at them from a distance and wanted to be a fisherman, but after seeing Ronan so vigorous, everyone took heart. Snipe and clam fight. The fisherman is very profitable, but if the fighting is a tiger and the other is a sheep, the fisherman is doomed to tragedy. 39. Gee, good. This guy has 28 too. Earn this wave. Ronan felt very happy. The harvest this time was unexpectedly much. The four supernaturalists added up to provide him with 120 beast hearts in total, which was an unprecedented harvest. Asshole. We won't let you go. The four supernatural beings watched as the heart of the beast they had collected was taken away, and their hearts were dripping blood. This is what they tried so hard to collect, now it's all gone. They will definitely be eliminated this time. Won't let me go. Ha ha, I still have to tell the newcomers next year, you have no chance this year. Ronan snorted, and didn't take the threat of the four supernaturalists in his heart at all. He threatened others like this last year, the result. Others passed the assessment, he was eliminated. So, barking is the most meaningless. This beast. Ronan quickly disappeared into the dilapidated street. He just tasted the sweetness and planned to find a new place and fish him again. Ronan came to an abandoned shop, and then began to slumber. He deliberately pretended to hide the snoring and sleep in this place to attract others. The purring is his bait. Ronan believes that he will definitely attract fish. This guy, looking at the big 5 and 3 rough, is so cunning, it's really not a person to look like. Ling Ju looked at Ronan pretending to be sleeping through the glass of the shop, and couldn't help being speechless. I'm not afraid of gangsters with big fists, but gangsters are educated. The assessment has reached the final point. Everyone wants to rob others and collect as many hearts of beasts as possible to improve their scores. At this time, simply setting up a game can seduce a bunch of people. Ronan's method is obviously simpler and more effective than aimless searching. Ling Ju kicked open the shop door. Okay. Ronan suddenly opened his eyes, with confusion in his eyes, and within 2 minutes of falling asleep, the unlucky ghost came home. Lao Tzu's luck is also great. Ronan stood up and looked at Ling Ju with a smile. Do you want to rob my beast heart? Of course. Ling Ju was too lazy to talk nonsense. A surging gravity violently pressed Ronan's body, and Ronan was squeezed into a stagger. The next moment, a stone slab came head on. Not good. Ronan's face changed drastically, and he hurriedly lowered his head to try to avoid the bombardment of the slate. Unexpectedly, the gravity that was oppressing him suddenly reduced, and even the original double gravity disappeared, and Ronan's body floated uncontrollably. Boom. The slate hit Ronan heavily, and Ronan was knocked into pieces. Then, the surrounding slate floated and pressed towards him. In the blink of an eye, Ronan was completely imprisoned by the slate. He struggled hard to no avail. Even using the supernatural power to incarnate the lion man was useless. Gravity plus slate was like a 5-finger mountain, and he couldn't breathe. You bastard. Ronan was anxious and angry. I often walk by the river, how can I not wet shoes? Ling Ju shook his head slightly. What's more, you have a strong self-sustainability. It will be a matter of time for you to seduce others to come to your door and stumble. How do you know? Ronan was taken aback. When you robbed the 4 abilities, I was watching from a distance. Ling Ju reached out to untie Ronan's space bag, and then poured out the heart of the fierce beast inside. Tisk tisk, how many unlucky ghosts are you so shameful that you have collected so many beast hearts? Ling Ju couldn't help but exclaim. Boy, if you dare to take away my beast heart, I will never let you go. Luo Nan is anxious, these fierce beast hearts are his proof of passing the assessment. If Ling Ju takes it, wouldn't he have to be eliminated again? Won't let me go. You should leave these words to the newcomer next year, you have no chance this year. Ling Ju returned Ronan's words to the four supernaturalists as they were. Ronan was so ashamed to hear that he almost suffered a heart attack. Okay, goodbye. Ling Ju put all the beast hearts into his own space bag, and then left the shop under Ronan's angry murderous gaze. In the next time, Ling Ju also learned Ronan, he also found a rather hidden shop, and then deliberately slumbered to make a move, made a pair of me hiding here, you hurry to rob my posture. Not to mention, this was very effective. 3 groups of people approached Ling Ju, and Ling Ju made a lot of money. As it approached noon, a shrill alarm sounded over the entire county town. This was the end of the assessment. Alert. Huh. It's finally over. Nima. It's over so soon. Hearing the sirens, the newcomers in the county were relieved, unwilling, or indifferent, and walked out of their hiding places. Lanshan Base City. Detang Yayuan Community, A35 Villa. Ling Tianxi and Ling Xiaotong sat on the sofa, staring nervously at the LCD TV screen, which was showing the scene outside Kaijiapo County. Lu Bowen, 14 points. Wang Jun, 21 points. Dong Tiantian, 32 points. Wang Jiabao, www.mtlnovel.com, points. Quote. The newcomers walked out of the county one by one, and then, with the help of the staff in the Supervisor Management Center, counted the receipts. 1 point for the heart of a Tier 1 beast. The heart of a Tier 2 beast is 10 points. The heart of Tier 1 Fierce Beast and Tier 2 Fierce Beast is very different, it is easy to distinguish. The news media in charge of the filming broadcasted the scene live, spreading this scene to thousands of households for the citizens of Lanshan Base City to watch. Dad, do you think your brother can pass the test? Ling Xiaotong's face was tight. Definitely. He is my son. Ling Tianxi is also uneasy. Whether he can pass the assessment is directly related to the future of his son, but he is not nervous as a father. At the same time, the bosses and related leaders of various power companies are also watching the live broadcast, paying close attention to the results of this training assessment. Pangu's Luo Jia is one of them. Although the newcomers are immature, they are the future of the company. For a large company to grow and flourish, it must pay attention to the cultivation of fresh blood. I heard Bai Yang said that this kid Ling Ju performed well and is expected to get the first place in this assessment. Luo Jia had a glimmer of expectation in his heart. Yao Yang, 7 points. Wang Jishang, 0 points. 0 points. It's another bad luck. Time passed, and the newcomers who walked out of the county have their own achievements one after another. Those who have achieved good results are delighted, and those who have poor results are downhearted. At this time, Ling Ju also walked out. Dad, look, it's brother. This kid finally figured it out. Chapter 18. A+ contract, take the initiative to solicit. It's Ling Ju, he's out. This bastard, I hate him for taking all the goods I received from him. This little guy finally figured it out. Seeing Ling Ju's appearance, people's eyes focused on Ling Ju, including the leaders of various supernatural organizations, many media, and of course some newcomers who had been robbed by Ling Ju. Lao Ling, you finally came out. Li Kai and Wang Jiabao greeted them immediately. How are you, have you passed the assessment? Ling Ju asked with a smile. I am 56, Wang Jiabao Kai 41. Li Kai couldn't hide his excitement. Listen to Bai Yang instructor, if no surprises, our results will not be a problem. Then I congratulate you in advance. Ling Ju smiled sincerely. Haha, congratulations. Li Kai was so happy that all the nasal blisters came out, and passing the assessment meant that he could continue to stay in Pangu Ability Company, which was naturally worthy of happiness. How about you Ling Ju, isn't it a good harvest this time? Wang Jiabao asked curiously. I heard Li Kai say that you have become a second-tier ability, and you can kill a second-tier beast with your second-tier ability. The strength of the player has collected a lot of beast hearts, right? Alright. Ling Ju smiled, then walked to the relevant staff and handed over the space bag. Wow. The staff poured out the heart of the beast, and in a short time, the entire ground was occupied. The staff quickly stepped back and continued to pour out. I'm going. So many. How many fierce beasts did this guy kill? Looking at the hearts of beasts everywhere, people were shocked. So far, no one has collected so many hearts of beasts. Several staff members quickly counted them, and in a short while, they announced Ling Ju's gain. 560 First Order Fierce Beast Hearts, 19 Second Order Fierce Beast Hearts, a total of 750 points. Wow! The audience was in an uproar. More than 700 points, is this still a human? It's hard for us to pass 100. He actually passed 700. A beast. A beast. People looked at Ling Ju as if they were looking at a monster. This achievement was so abnormal that it was difficult for other newcomers to stand by. Lao Ling, although I knew that your grades might be very high, I didn't expect your grades to be so high, 750 points. Li Kai looked at Ling Ju in disbelief, it's desperate. Synonymous 9, Ruhi Shu. Wang Jiabao also sighed. Dad, brother got 750 points. Ling Xiaotong jumped up with excitement, his small face was full of admiration and excitement. My brother is so powerful, he actually won the first place. Good job. She deserves to be her son. Ling Tianxi was also excited, his eyes were red. Pangu Company. This kid, really good. General Manager Luo Jia showed a smile and took out his mobile phone. The legal department, help me redraw an A+ contract. Ling Ju. A handsome young man walked towards Ling Ju and proactively stretched out his hand and smiled. Hello, Ling Ju, I am Wang Zhen, the instructor of Vulcan Ability Company. Instructor Wang, hello. Ling Ju shook his hand slightly. Ling Ju, in just half a year, you can become a second-level ability person. It can be seen that you usually practice very hard. What's more commendable is that you also have a rare dual system ability of soil control and gravity control, which is really good. Seedling. The handsome young man Wang Zhen smiled and said, on behalf of our Vulcan Ability Company, I would like to invite you, and hope you can join us Vulcan. Li Kai and Wang Jiabao are immediately full of envy, and talents with excellent performance will be duped. The instructor of Vulcan dared to dig Ling Ju in front of so many people. It can be seen that Ling Ju was so good that he had already made the instructor of Vulcan disregard his face. Although people in other organizations are greedy, they are not confident enough to compete with Pangu and Vulcan. They know that they are not qualified. Wang Zhen, don't the people who dig us in front of me lose their faces. Instructor Bai Yang walked over, staring at Wang Zhen with unkind eyes. Haha, everyone grabs the talent. Wang Zhen disagrees. For a good seedling like Ling Ju, we Vulcan will naturally not miss it. Besides, he and you Pangu only signed a contract, not a deed, so why can't we come to Vulcan? If you want to dig people from our Pangu, you have to see what you can do. The Baiyang instructor snorted coldly, and then said to Ling Ju, President Luo had called me before. She said that you performed very well in this assessment and are fully worthy of an A-level contract. Sign the contract when you go back. Thank you Mr. Luo, thank you instructor. Ling Ju was overjoyed. The A-level contract is $1 million monthly salary plus intermediate genetic power secret technique plus single family villa plus 30% off the purchase of the mall, which is much better than the current C-level contract. A mere A-level contract dismissed such a good seed. It's too cheap. Wang Zhen sneered. Ling Ju, as long as you join Vulcan, I will apply for an A+ contract for you. A+ contract. Ling Ju was shocked. The main body of the A+ contract is still the A contract, but some adjustments have taken place in some of the projects. For example, if the monthly salary is high, the intermediate genetic power secret technique becomes the advanced genetic power secret technique, or other benefits are given. All in all, A+ level contracts are superior to A-level contracts, but they are not too outrageous, and they are still incomparable with higher level S-level contracts. Wang Zhen, you are malicious competition. The Baiyang instructor was angry. This is not malicious competition, but a manifestation of our Vulcan cherishing talents. Wang Zhen shook his head. Ling Ju, you should understand the meaning of the A+ level contract. Our general manager is willing to give you a full explanation of how important you are. I see. Ling Ju nodded slightly. Those who are able work harder, and those who are able take more. Different levels of supernatural powers enjoy different benefits, which is very strict. Generally speaking, the first level ability person signs a C-level contract. The second level ability person signs a B level contract. Those with third level abilities sign A level contracts. Only those with level 4 ability sign A plus level contracts. The ability of Vulcan Ability Company to give Ling Ju a second level ability player an A plus level contract is enough to show that Vulcan Ability Company values Ling Ju. Ling Ju, our Vulcan is full of sincerity, join us Vulcan. Wang Zhen is full of confidence. I believe that under the cultivation of our Vulcan, you will surely become a powerful supernatural player in the shortest time. Ling Ju. The Baiyang instructor suddenly became a little nervous. The www.mtlnovel.com level contract is indeed much more attractive than the A-level contract. He is really afraid that Ling Ju will switch to Vulcan. But what he didn't expect was that Ling Ju actually refused. I am very grateful to instructor Wang Zhen and your company for the enthusiastic invitation, but I am sorry, I have already joined Pangu Ability Company, and have no idea of transferring to other organizations. Refused. Wang Zhen looked at Ling Ju in shock. I'm really sorry. Ling Ju leaned slightly. Okay. Wang Zhen had a pity on his face, but he didn't continue to insist. No matter how good Ling Ju's performance was, he was just a good seedling after all, and it was not worth letting the Vulcan murmur 3 and 4 times to invite each other. Ling Ju, great. Instructor Bai Yang breathed a sigh of relief, his eyes full of admiration when he looked at Ling Ju. Chapter 19. Pangu Mall, Sky-priced items. Detang Yayuan, A35 Villa. My sister Ling Xiaodong brought a glass of orange juice, her eyes were full of admiration. Brother, congratulations on passing the training assessment and winning the first place at the same time. From now on, you will be my idol. What idol? I am your brother. Ling Ju picked up the wine glass and touched his sister, and at the same time said angrily. Who ruled that my brother cannot be an idol? My sister gave Ling Ju a blank look. Brother, will you re-sign the contract with the company after work tomorrow, and we have to move again? Ling Ju nodded. My current contract belongs to the C-level contract, and tomorrow I will sign the A-level contract. The house equipped with the A-level contract is a single-family villa, which is a better grade than the villa we live in now. Single-family villa. There are stars in my sister's eyes. Although I knew that when you awakened your abilities, I knew that I might live in a single-family villa in the future, but I never expected that this day would come so fast. Brother, you are so too incredible. That is. Ling Ju shook her long hair proudly. Your brother, I am destined to become the world's strongest person in the future, so what is a single-family villa? The world's strongest man. Just blow it. My sister rolled her beautiful eyes. The throne of the world's #1 power has always been dominated by your company's Li Huang. It has not changed in 30 years. If you want to become the world's #1 strong, Li Huang is afraid that it will be the first one to fail. Promise. Now he is indeed better than me, the future is not necessarily. Ling Ju smiled. Well, first set a small goal, to become the world's strongest. Is this still a small goal? My sister is a bit speechless. It's a small goal. Seeing a pair of sons and daughters bickering happily, Ling Tianxi smiled and looked at him. His eyes were filled with satisfaction and pride. His marriage failed and his career failed, but with this pair of children, he felt that he was better than anyone else. To succeed. This night, the family of 3 took a rest very late. After a simple wash, Ling Ju went to his spacious and grand house and turned on the smart computer. Although this world has been invaded by fierce beasts, some technologies have been greatly affected and the development has been slow, but the development of other technologies has not stagnated. Chip technology, material technology, virtual projection technology, etc. are developing rapidly. One of them is computer technology. Computers in this world are very smart, they can be big or small, they can be put in a pocket like a mobile phone, and they can also be worn on the hand like a watch. It not only has all the functions of previous computers, but also adds thousands of new functions that were not available in previous computers, such as real mirror, that can travel anywhere. A simulation piano, that can be played with a staff and can be played. Ma Liangbi, that can turn pictures into real objects. Of course, in addition to these functions, the most widely used area of smart computers lies in the smart home system. For example, the smart home system is installed in the townhouse where Ling Ju now lives. It can remind you to get up, to remind you to eat, to boil bath water for you, to automatically clean up garbage, and even to alarm. All in all, the computers in this world are very God, and animation, games, movies, TV series and other industries are therefore very developed. If an otaku comes here, he will love it very much. Ling Ju logged into the company's official website, verified his identity with his ID card, and then entered the company's official website, and a cute-looking ant popped out. Dear Ling Ju, I am Xiao Yi, the assistant of Pengu's official website. Next, I will introduce to you the official website of our Pengu Ability Company. The little ant's voice is cheerful. Our Pengu official website is divided into 5 sections: Pengu Overview, Pengu News, Pengu Forum, Pengu Mall, and Supervisor Management. Pengu Overview mainly introduces the main situation, historical evolution, branch overview, company backbone, etc. of our Pengu Ability Company. Pengu News releases some company announcements and real-time news information. Through Pengu News, you can know the latest decisions of Pengu Company and various news events happening in the world without going out. Pengu Forum. Pengu Mall, where you can buy all kinds of items you want, such as genetic power secrets, power cheats, weapons, vehicles, armor and protective gear, electronic products, gourmet food, medical items, tiansai dabao and so on. Of course, as long as you have enough money, you can even ask advanced abilities to teach you one-on-one through the internet. Introduce the secret technique of genetic power. Genetic secret art is the inner power of our abilities. With it, there are 4 types of genetic secret art: low, intermediate, advanced, and top. Different levels of gene secret art have different the training effect. There is also a top-level genetic power secret technique. Ling Ju was a little surprised, but Bai Yang instructor never mentioned the top genetic power secret technique. The top genetic power secret technique is the top genetic power secret technique, and the efficiency of absorbing genetic power can reach 10,000 times. Xiao Yi introduced. 10,000 times. So exaggerated. Ling Ju took a breath. www.mtlnovel.com. The absorption efficiency of the low-level genetic power occult technique is 10 times, while the efficiency of the top genetic power occult technique is 10,000 times. Is the gap too big? If I have a top-level genetic power secret technique, I practice for 1 day, and I will practice for 27 years. If I practice for 1 year, I will practice for 10,000 years. Shock. Desire. Ling Ju's eyes were red. How much does it cost to buy a top-level genetic power secret technique? The top genetic power secret technique is the supreme treasure of the company. It cannot be measured by money. Unless there is a special contribution, it cannot be purchased. Little Ant is still happy, but Ling Ju's face collapses in an instant, unable to buy. What is it doing in the mall? Seduce people. What about the secret technique of advanced genetic ability? Ling Ju asked again. If you can't get the top genetic power secret technique, the advanced genetic power secret technique is also good. The absorption efficiency of 1000 times is not low. Advanced genetic power secret technique. Price, 10 billion. 10 billion. Ling Ju was desperate in an instant. His current monthly salary is 1 million. 10 billion is equivalent to his 10,000 months salary. 10,000 months equals 833 years. 833. I'm old and dead. Ling Ju cursed secretly, resisting the urge to smash something, and change the subject. Little Ant, tell me about the power secrets. If the secret technique of genetic supernatural power is the inner power of the heart, then the secret power of supernatural power is the martial arts secrets such as evil swordsmanship, Dugu 9 swords, and star-absorbing Dafa. With the ability cheats, we can better exert the power of the ability. Actual cheats. Chapter 20. The Sand of Annihilation, the Treasure of Heaven and Earth. Martial Arts Secrets. Ling Ju's eyes lit up. The ability cheats are the same as the genetic ability secrets. They are divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced and top ability cheats. Little Ant introduced. Different levels of power cheats have different prices, but they are much cheaper than genetic power secrets of the same level. Low-level power cheats start at 1 million, intermediate power cheats are worth 10 million, and high-level cheats are over 100 million. Top 1 billion. Of course, different abilities have different ability cheats. According to different classifications, ability cheats are also divided into different departments such as gold, wood, water, fire and earth. It's indeed much cheaper than the genetic power secret technique of the same level. Ling Ju exhaled. Show me the low-level soil power secret technique. Huh. As soon as the screen turned, a list appeared on the screen, which listed many low-level soil-based abilities and cheats, all of which were a combination of name and introduction. Look at the first, Spiral Stone Spear. Spiral Stone Spear, cheats for low-level soil-based abilities. Because of its high-speed rotation, the penetration and speed of the Spiral Stone Spear is much greater than that of the ordinary stone spear, and its lethality is twice that of the ordinary stone spear. Spiral Stone Spear, its lethality is twice that of ordinary stone spear, and its power is pretty good. Ling Ju continued to browse down. In addition to the Spiral Stone Spear, there are also high-speed soil bomb, thorn and thorns, heavy stone hammer, and many more. No less than 10,000 kinds. However, due to level restrictions, the power of these low-level Earth-based ability cheats is at most twice as powerful as ordinary abilities, and will not be higher. After that, Ling 9 o'clock opened the intermediate Earth element ability cheats. Meteor Stone Hammer, intermediate Earth element ability cheats. The stone hammer moves at a high speed according to a certain trajectory. The combination of kinetic energy and potential energy allows the stone hammer to explode 4 times the damage of the ordinary stone hammer at the moment of hitting the target. Force. Violent Stalagmites. Intermediate ability cheats, burst out 4 times the power of ordinary ability, not bad. Ling Ju continued to look down. The power of advanced ability cheats was 8 times that of ordinary ability. The power of the top-level ability cheats is 20 times that of the ordinary ability, and the corresponding prices are also more exaggerated, being 100 million and 1 billion respectively. With my current net worth, I can only afford low-level ability cheats. It is not enough to buy high-level and top-level ability cheats. Money. You need money to buy everything. Ling Ju sighed. He thought he had become a supernatural power. He lived in a single-family villa and could rank among the rich with a salary of tens of millions of years. Now it is better. He is still a pauper and can only afford the lowest power. Cheats, too poor. Look at the weapons again. Weapons are divided into cold weapons and hot weapons. Cold weapons are mainly divided into different types such as gold, wood, water, fire, earth, etc., and hot weapons are technological weapons. The so-called soil-based cold weapon was opened at Ling 9 o'clock. The so-called soil-based cold weapon was actually a different, earth, type of material. Ordinary soil, heavy sand, hard rocks, and some special soil-like substances. According to different materials, soil-based cold weapons are also divided into 4 different levels: low, intermediate, high, and top. Soil and rock are also graded. At 9 o'clock, Ling opened the top soil-type cold weapon, and only one kind was listed: Sand of Annihilation. Sand of Annihilation, a kind of magical quicksand from the outside world, not only extremely heavy, but also extremely hard, not afraid of fire, not afraid of high temperature, not afraid of low cold. It is the highest hardness and density of sand found on the earth. Price: 10 billion per square meter. 10 billion per square. So expensive. Ling Ju couldn't help taking a breath. 1 cubic of gold is 19.32 tons, 1 ton of gold is worth 270 million, and 19.32 tons is 5.2 billion. In other words, one party has only 5.2 billion gold, and this kind of annihilation has 10 billion yuan, which is more expensive than gold. Who can afford it? However, the power of this sand of annihilation must be very terrifying. Ling Ju thought silently. Earth-type abilities can control earth, rock, quicksand. No matter how heavy and dense these things are, they will have little impact on the soil-type abilities, but for the enemy, the gap is too big. Think about it. Using ordinary quicksand to attack the enemy, and attacking the enemy with the extremely heavy sand of annihilation, can the effect be the same? The answer is naturally no. If I have a few sands of annihilation, my combat effectiveness will definitely be improved by several levels. Stone bullets, stone spears, stone hammers, stone spears, ground thorns, swamps formed by the condensed sand of annihilation, are definitely much stronger than ordinary earth and rocks. Ling Ju's greedy saliva flowed out. It's a pity that this thing is too expensive. Even if I sell it, I can't afford it. Later, at 9 o'clock, Ling opened high-grade soil-based cold weapons. Compared with the top-class soil-based cold weapons with only one kind of sand of annihilation, there were more advanced soil-based cold weapons, totaling more than 20 kinds. Osmium, a rare earth material rich in metal osmium. Osmium is the densest metal in the world, which means it is the heaviest metal. Osmium is a powder ground from ore rich in metal osmium. The weight is ordinary sand, 20 times. Price, 10 million per square meter. Tisk tusk, it's also very expensive. The second kind, Moshe. Ink sand, sand made from graphene, the hardest substance in nature, is harder than diamond and 100 times harder than steel. Price, 10 million per square meter. After reading a series of soil weapons, Ling Ju's greedy eyes were about to separate, but he was ashamed in his pocket, and he couldn't afford any of them. Poor. I am so poor. Ling Ju wailed in his heart, and then clicked on the means of transportation. The means of transportation in the mall are all-encompassing. In addition to regular cars, there is also an artifact that makes Ling Ju especially greedy. Magnetic levitation aircraft. Thanks to the invasion of beasts, the material technology of this world is very advanced, and the superconducting magnetic material is also much more advanced than the previous Earth, which leads to the technology of magnetic levitation vehicle more mature than the previous life. From the cheapest maglev motorcycles, Kanshu www.yuakanshu.com, to fairly high-end maglev cars, to large maglev planes, and finally to luxurious and majestic maglev airships, everything is bright in titanium alloy. Dog eyes. However, even the cheapest maglev motorcycle, I can't afford it. Ling Ju wailed, this thing has to start 10 million. Maglev motorcycle, 15 million per vehicle. Maglev vehicles, 80 million per vehicle. Maglev aircraft, 300 million vehicle. Magnetic levitation airship, 5 billion vehicle. Because it is expensive, the magnetic levitation vehicle has nothing to do with ordinary people, and it is almost difficult to see it in Lanshan Base City. Later, Ling Ju learned about armor and protective gear, electronic products, gourmet food, medical supplies and other things, and finally came to Tianxai Dabao. Treasures of heaven and earth are the essence of heaven and earth bred in nature. Each of them has incredible effects, such as awakening abilities, improving the efficiency of absorbing genetic abilities, strengthening the body, and improving the soul. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiobook to stay updated with our latest stories, and never miss out on a great listen.